Ladies love the skin.
Ow.
Bring it a little bit closer. The good skin, that is. That's why having a proper skincare routine is very important, and you need to feel the Teej. The process is so easy, just 4 steps. You got your daily face wash. That's going to clean your face up nice and right. You got your exfoliator scrub. That's going to open up your pores. You got your AM moisturizer with the SPM 20, which is going to protect you from the sun. You also got your PM moisturizer, which is going to make sure your skin is protected throughout the night. Teej has tons of reviews from dedicated customers across the world. I know I said a lot, but it's okay, because guess what? It comes with an instruction card to explain to you in detail what to do morning and night. And because Teej is a sponsor, they're offering my family 30% off along with a free gift. Just click that link that's in the description and feel the Teej.
Oh, damn. My ass couldn't finish. I didn't finish my food fast enough. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Lapeef Let's Talk. I am your host for tonight, Trigger Mike. Well, let me get a bit of a different order going on here. Who was the first in the building? Let's get some of the ladies in there. Let's put the ladies in. All right. Sweeney, I don't know if you're there, but you black as hell right now. Just saying. But once again, welcome. We got Jasmine. How you doing? Trev Smooth. MLG with red on again. He knows no other color. My man Marcus White. Ali, what's going on? Andrea. And my man Sweeney. Once again, I am Trigger Mike. Thank y'all for tuning in to Lapeef Let's Talk. Lapeef is otherwise undisposed. I know y'all expected him here tonight, but y'all are stuck with me. But y'all are also used to me. So we're going to have a great night. Salute to everybody in the chat. How y'all doing this evening? Y'all had a good, what is today? Thursday? Hell yeah, it's Thursday. But what's good with y'all? Y'all on mute.
I am good. Life is good. Life is good.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, man. So we're going to jump right into it. So while we were putting together topics, Sweeney actually had a good topic that he wanted to use as an icebreaker. So he's going to explain the context. Then we're going to jump right into it, y'all. So Sweeney, take it away.
Okay. How everybody doing this evening? Everybody good? All right. So now I asked this question last week, and I'm glad because some of the ladies wasn't on here on this panel last week, and I kind of asked this question on King Talk. Basically the context is I feel like when we come up on these panels and we talk, you know, it's nice to kind of gain a level of trust with, you know what I mean, with our audience and things like that, right? So I asked the ladies last week, do you feel like you are an accurate representation of the everyday woman? And then I asked the men on King Talk, do you feel like you are an accurate representation of men on of the everyday man? The reason why I asked that is because if we want to be able to speak, you know what I mean, it's kind of hard to come up here and talk about our experiences and things like that, or speak for their experiences if we don't feel like we may identify with them. So what do y'all think about that? Well, first, if you can answer the question and then give me your thoughts.
All right, so we're going to go around. We're going to start with you, Jasmine, if that's all right.
I was actually going to pose it back to Sweeney and ask him, like, so when you answered it on the last podcast for the Everyday Man, did you say yes or no? And how did y'all describe the Everyday Man?
Everybody else said no.
Oh.
I was the only one that said yes.
Why did you say yes? What do you feel like the average man is?
Because I personally do not feel like I'm unique. And where I got that thought from? Have you ever sat there and thought about, man, you thought you came up with this great idea, and then you go online and you Google it and you find out this thing has been thought up 1,000,001 times? That was kind of like my wake-up call. And I realized that, hey, if I feel this way, I wonder how many millions of other men feel this way. And I feel like I come from the same, you know what I mean, space that a lot of black men, specifically black men, come from. So when I look out at the world and I see everyday men, I identify myself in the same spaces that they in. I feel like I've had the same experiences, the same trials and tribulations, the same, I guess the same, what is the word I'm looking for? The same experiences with women. You know what I mean? So I see myself in them because I feel like I am them.
Okay.
First of all, pause.
I said it in my head.
Y'all got to let go of that toxic masculinity.
Oh, boy. I said it, but
I got to let that go.
All right, so let's let Jasmine get her full answer. You got the context, Jasmine?
Yes, now I got the context. But,
right, let's get into
so I'm going to say yes and no, just because I don't know all the women in the world. I don't know what their daily struggle is, but I know, like, we're just talking about just relationships in a sense. I feel like we all go through the same things pretty much. We have good guys, bad guys, cheaters, such and such. So I feel like we all go through that. But as far as like gender roles and like what do you want to do with your life and that type of thing, I would say I'm a little not like the average woman just because I'm not really pressed for like marriage or having kids and all that stuff like that. I'm just living like Larry daily. So it's just, I don't really I just let the chips fall where they may. So, and whereas most people are like, I'm not gonna say most women, whereas a lot of women that I know that I'm surrounded by are more focused on those things.
All right. My man Trav, what's going on?
What's up?
All right.
Y'all want the
You're
men's
up.
end too, or just the all right. Yeah. Well, like I was saying the other day on King Talk, I think it's a little bit different in our position because, I mean, I talk to many men from all walks of life, right? A lot of people are having this similar struggles, right? Like Jasmine said, but everybody deals with it differently, right? I feel like there's more people who are having trouble with relationships than are not, right? So I think that the lens that we see it from is a little bit different because if you just talk to some of these men and see like some of the issues that they're having, a lot of people, especially the youth, they're having problems just dealing with women in general, right? Some people don't know how to talk to women or approach women or deal with conflicts. Their conflict resolution skills are low. And not everybody, but a good amount of people are having problems, right? It's a communication barrier between us. So it's difficult, right? And I get a lot of DMs all the time just asking me what to do. And I'm like, damn, what might seem like it's easy for me, I understand that it's not for everybody, right? We're all going to have different perspectives, but there's a lot of people who are having a lot of trouble. And what really makes a difference is us getting out here in front of everyone and doing it. So we're looking at it from a completely different lens on that point, right? Because most people are not going to do that. That's why I say we don't necessarily represent the everyday person. Like our struggles, we'll have our own struggles, but it's going to be different.
All right. MLG.
So first, my question is, does an everyday guy eat ass?
Oh shit. Here we go.
I'm okay. Jasmine said no. So
No. No.
okay, so
That's a strong no.
so I may not be the everyday guy, but to be real though, I don't think the everyday guy is the same as who I used to be or who I am now. So I can't really say that I am because a lot of modern men, just like right now, right? Everybody are experiencing layoffs, rent, and interest rates are like through the roof. People are losing their cars and homeless or whatever. I sold crack when I was a kid, right? When I was younger. I had my first house when I was like 17 years old. No, I'm sorry, 19 years old. But I moved out my mama's house when I was 17 years old, right? So I jumped off the porch early. I was young. I would have a nice car, and back in the day, a nice car was actually a $900 Cutlass that you put rims on, and you got a paint job. So altogether, you spent $2,000 on this amazing looking car, but you only spent $2,000 and you had no car note, right? And I would just roll up on chicks, just playing my music, and I would just ride down the street. And chicks would just come out the house wondering who is playing, who bumping their music down the street. And I would just, grab chicks like that. So I don't think the average modern man lived like that. I think the average modern man still either lives with his mama or didn't jump off the porch until he was like 25 or something. I don't think the average man has the gumption and the drive and the ambition that I have now or that I had when I was a child. I was a child beating up grown ass men. You feel me? Selling crack, shooting at folks. So I would like to be the average guy, but the average guy does not have my mental makeup. When I, talk about, y'all joke about me saying sit your ass down somewhere. It's not about me going off on y'all, making y'all feel bad. I'm actually that nigga that would put you in a position emotionally. You would want to sit your ass down somewhere being around me because it always happens. The average man runs around, what's wrong with these women? I don't do that because
all right, Mr. Lego. Come on now.
Like land the
Tell me
fucking
all this
plane,
goddamn
man.
grandstanding.
Okay.
Come on, man.
okay.
Man,
Well,
damn
We
way.
asked, nah, hold
Listen.
up. We asked you to answer the question that you just gave a y'all niggas ain't shit, I'm the man speech. Man, get the hell out of here.
Get the hell out of here.
We moving along.
I would like to be the average man. I act like the averge man, but they don't have
Land the damn
makeup
plane.
that I have.
God damn.
I don't know.
And then you started the whole thing off with I eat ass. You on pause for like 20 minutes, bro.
And I eat ass.
All right, let me get a
To the
mature
modern
answer
men,
here.
y'all start eating ass and y'all could be like me. I guess. I don't know.
Let's get somebody a little more methodical in here. Marcus, please bring us back on track.
I think the average man does, Mr. Lecco.
Thank you. I'm the average man. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm not average. Jesus, y'all bad.
Men who are above average.
Marcus, you on mute, bro.
All right, so yeah, I'm the most average man there is.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute.
I guess he don't eat ass.
This man,
All right.
this man has a whole. You got a whole block that separates you from a bunch of zombies, and you talk about you the everyday average dude.
Okay. So that's the reason that I answered it like that, because as soon as I would have tried to say it, y'all was gonna do that. I specifically, you triggered my trap card here. That I specifically said,
come on, man.
No. Okay, but here's the thing. My experience ain't been the same as most men, right? I completely understand that. And there's some things that I don't understand as far as the perspective that they be coming from. But what I do understand is the nature of women, and I've had more experience dealing with a multitude of different types of women. So I come at it from a understanding of I could translate past that barrier, like the man female barrier. I could hear what they saying, and most of the time be able to speak to it, where that language barrier get cut off. So I might not be able to specifically relate, but I think I can provide value if you utilize what I'm trying to get you to understand.
I bet. All right, let's get the female perspective in here. Ali, what's going on?
Hello, everybody.
I ain't no average bitch. You know she.
Hey, Ali, how you doing?
How you doing, Ali?
I do not talk like that. Hello. You guys missed me evidently, but yes.
Yeah. Love and Hip Hop is back.
Come on, man. The show been on for less than 20 minutes. Let's get the answers first.
I believe that the way that I've been raised and the things that I've done in my life is above, I don't think anybody I've ever met has done the things that I've done and lived the life that I've lived. So I do think I'm quite extraordinary in that aspect. But I think everybody's different. I think everybody comes to the table with their own differences, and you can learn from anybody. So I don't think that I'm above anybody. I definitely think I do think differently than the average woman today, because I am not afraid to speak my mind. I'm not afraid to go get what I want on my own, or with a partner, or with my girlfriend. I'm a girl's girl. I don't talk about women behind their back like most women do. And I don't believe in worshiping men. So that's one difference. Like I'm not going to believe what a man says to me. He has to come with that action. You got to come with that thing, more than that thing, the action thing. So I will say, I am different in that aspect. A lot of people out here are just about that talk, and I'm about that action. So,
I don't even know how.
Let him marinate real quick, Trigger Man. Let's go to Andrea. Let him marinate for a second.
We'll dive all into it. Andrea, what's going on? Good evening.
Hello. To answer your question, no, I wouldn't consider myself to be the average woman. I feel like I represent a marginalized community of women and just people in general that gravitate towards more of a liberal experience in life outside of like gender conformities and the traditional lifestyle of just being a traditional person. I think I represent a community of people who, for the most part, are looked at as maybe like rebellious or unorthodox. And I enjoy that and I stand in that. And I mean, I think in that retrospect, I would be like the average person in the liberal community who thinks a different way than everybody else. But to the world, I would say no, I wouldn't be average.
Yo, somebody said I went from selling crack to licking it. That is hilarious.
Oh, that is funny as hell. Damn. I don't care what nobody say. That's a bar.
Believe that
that is a bar.
Can I just say one thing? I don't believe that Mr. Lego sold anything but crack. But the crack of his
I sell card games now though, like crack.
She so said you ain't sell nothing but your ass, and you just gonna skate right over that.
Hold on, that's what she said.
That's what she said. That was right over your head, bro.
That was another bar. No, hit her with the purple burn.
That was not a bar.
Right.
That was a bar.
Back to the topic though. Who has smoke for any of the answers that we heard, male or female? Anybody want to push back?
They ain't say nothing. Ain't nobody say nothing.
No, I was gonna say that. I'm glad all of y'all answered that, right?
Nothing grandiose about what they said.
And I believe every single one of y'all. I believe all of y'all. I believe, especially, I believe Andrea when she says that she feels like she doesn't represent. And when you look at it and you see how she speaks and the things that she believes in, she really doesn't. Because when you go out there and you talk to everyday regular people, they really don't align with her way of thinking. I believe Mr. Lego when he says that he lived a different life from the regular everyday man. Whether we want to believe that he actually sold crack or not is regardless of that fact. Marcus used to be a ball player, Trev. I don't know what he does, but so I think the problem that I have here is because we often get on this panel, we say, well, most men feel like this or most women feel like that. But what I've noticed is that when I go outside and you just walk down the street and and I'm in a shop and I just go down the hallway and I talk to regular everyday people, oftentimes they have no idea what I'm talking about regarding like this space. They like, that's not like, they don't understand the conversations that we have here because it doesn't exist in their lives. Like, y'all get what I'm saying?
Are they
like when we talk about
white people?
No, black. Who else am I cutting? I cut hair for a living. You think I'm cutting a bunch of white folks?
A lot of people don't know nothing about black people.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding. So you're saying that you have black people that come into your chair that say, "Oh, I don't identify with these relationship issues. My life is perfect," or that's what you're saying?
The way that we describe
are you saying black YouTube?
No, yeah, basically the way that we describe relationships on this panel, if you take that stuff back to them, they really don't understand it. They're like, that's not the life we live. That's, you know what I mean? They tend to say like, no, I don't, everything in this household goes this way. I don't see, they don't understand the conversations that we have here because it doesn't manifest in their real life.
So let me add a little bit of context to that. So I was just having this discussion on another panel recently. What it is that if you'll notice, we all have been guilty of using extremes on YouTube. And that's what we tend to argue a lot is the extremes. The worst thing that can happen, we talk about like it's the most common thing that can happen. All men are cheaters. Men be slapping women upside the head. That's not common, but we talk about it so much like it's what's going on in every individual house.
So domestic violence isn't common?
No, don't stop the terrorism right now. You know what I'm trying to say. So basically, let me give it to you like this. Hold on. Let me give it to you like this. I have never in my life used the word submission to define the way my wife behaves in my house. But some reason all we talk about on YouTube in reference to what women need to do for men. I never been like, you got to submit to me. I'm a man. I've never said nothing of the sort. But the way, if you listen to YouTube, you would think that men are out here asking every woman that they're dating, like, you better submit to me or I ain't going to put no ring on your finger. It's not really what happens at the surface level. These are just YouTube talking points. So I think what Sweeney is trying to say is that when you go to the average people who are really doing life, these they're not living the extreme examples that we use on YouTube all the time. They're just really living life. And to answer Andrea's question, yes, we know domestic violence happens. It is not common that most men are not beating their wives, beating their women, none of that. It's not the common occurrence.
It is common. You need to look it up.
Trigger Mike, I just got to say, sadly, it is common.
Like, what do you mean by
ignorance is prevalent?
I would say half of the men in America have did it. I mean, but half of the men in America have did it.
Y'all gotta look up the statistics before y'all start. That's what you just
Ali, even if you look at the stats doesn't represent that half.
I was gonna say it doesn't represent what you think it represents.
Like half of that half of this is just to Let Go's point. You haven't said anything that I can.
It's more than half, actually.
More than half of men are not beating on their women.
Oh well, look it up then.
I just want to say this.
And it's not just men; it's domestic violence. Period.
It's women too.
That may be true. It doesn't mean that majority of people
said that women are involved.
That's not really the point that they're trying to make. They're just trying to really be acknowledged and say, "Hey, it happens way more than y'all think." Y'all can go back and forth with the statistics, but these are women, and you got to understand, either they've been through it or somebody close to them, or a lot of people close to them have been through it. So when we men, just like YouTube, just like we're talking about, right? YouTube, oh no, that doesn't happen. And women say, oh hell, it really happens. And we turn around, no man will do that. Not saying y'all are doing that.
Yeah, so Let Go, you're making a point nobody made.
It's the extreme again.
Mr. Let Go, hold on, wait. Hold on, Ali.
No, because you cut me off and I wanted to say something. I want to tell
hold on real quick. First of all, you just got back here. Hold on real quick.
We're not gonna go down the rabbit hole on it doesn't happen. So
just
look
allow
at
it
the
to be
context of what is meant by the majority or common or whatever. Nobody here said it didn't happen. Yeah, well, nobody said it didn't happen. Nobody
That's
said
not the point. The point is you said that it. Wait, let me just say this.
It's not common.
I just want to just let me say what I got to say, because you want to know what offended us, so let us say it. You offended us, so let us say what offended us. What is offensive is that you can have 3 women on the panel who know someone who was affected by DV, and you can say, well, it doesn't happen. The majority of let me finish. Hold up. You said it doesn't happen as often as we think that it does, and it's not. You start trying to dilute and belittle the experiences of women that go through that. So it's like, to justify what? To say that you don't do it? Like, dude, just get off the subject. If you don't do it, just support the women that have been through it. Try to tell your peers, hey, don't hit your women, and then move on. Don't sit and say, oh, it don't barely happen, when we turn on the TV and we see you being murdered and us being beat every day. So don't sit and turn.
All right. So here's a large part of the problem. Here's a large part of the problem. When I said it isn't common, what we tend to do, so you said when we turn on the TV and people, everybody on this panel knows somebody that's been a victim of domestic violence. Every single person on this panel, male or female alike. Everybody on this panel also knows a man that has gotten abused by his woman and a woman that's gotten abused by her man. It is not gender specific, so we need to stop making it gender specific. But what we tend to do is take this world of 8 billion people and use it, the data and statistics that come out.
So are you a neutral?
Hold on. As our neighborhood. The world is not our neighborhood. All right. So in the general suburb of people living in a median income of $70,000 who have kids that go to school,
you need to just do your research.
You need to mute up, bro.
Stop.
This shit is not common.
First and foremost,
Sweeney, go ahead, Sweeney, because you
first and foremost,
y'all.
Nobody said that it didn't happen. We said it's not common, and by
the
definition,
common.
Hold on, wait. Why can't y'all let somebody finish a statement?
Because you're not saying the right thing.
Ali, I'm not saying what you want me to say.
Sweeney, let me just say this.
No, I don't need you to explain anything further because let me finish.
Go ahead.
I comment. If we're using common, i.e., 50% or more are committing DV, then it's not common. 50% or more of men and women are not beating on their spouses. We know this without a shadow of a doubt. It can be looked. No, it's not. Unless you can pull up some type of data to back up that. All right, then you can't say that. You gotta have evidence. Hold on. No, wait. Ali.
I need you to get out of Google for a second and listen to these women, bro.
I step outside and I don't see men beating on their women. What are you talking about?
What awards are they giving out tonight?
So I'm supposed to hold on, wait. So because if I go out there, hold on, wait.
Can you stop for a second?
No, because dude.
Let them finish.
And I'm gonna read it.
Are we gonna have a conversation?
Hold up. I'll just say it says 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men have experienced some form of physical violence by an intimate.
That's common as fuck.
Is that 50%?
That's 33% and 25%.
Is that 50%?
I'm good at math, by the way.
But look, that's only what's documented. There's a lot of people silently suffering that you will never know. That will never go to the police station.
It's 50%. Ali, you beat on your man?
Stop. Look.
Hold on. No, Ali, you beat on your man?
No, everybody shut up. I don't talk. I just need to say one thing.
MLG, go ahead. And then we tabling this.
God damn it. It's 3 out of every 5 women, and it's not just domestic violence.
Based on what?
Assaulted, whether it's sexual, whether it's you got to understand that part. So it's 3 of every 5 women. I have daughters. That's the first thing. So I always paid attention to this shit. And I've been coaching women for the last 7 years. I've heard the worst stories ever. And then when you actually are in the coaching world, you hear from other coaches. Then you hear from female coaches, and you hear from. So it's not just the women I coach. It starts. It's like 2 drops of water. They get together, and it turns into an ocean of words and conversations.
All right, we're about to take
actually a bigger thing. Hold on, one thing, Trigger Mike. I just want to say this. All I want you guys to do, and the guys in the chat, is to understand that we are not around this shit. So in our realities, it's not as prevalent or it's not common. But in most women's lives, it is very common. And all the women are saying, please acknowledge that. That's it.
Yeah, nobody did not acknowledge it. That's
right. But the only thing I disagree with, the only thing I disagree with was when you said 50% or more of men are beating on their women. That's the only thing I disagree with.
You know, physical abuse is not the only type of abuse.
Let's go into the next topic.
No, let's stay on the topic.
At least let the women speak.
Right, y'all love to.
At least let the women speak. Y'all talk the most. Let the women say something.
Look, I gave y'all 30 seconds, y'all. We done with this one.
The women didn't get a chance to say nothing. It's their issue.
They did, bro. I got to table this one, bro. It's just gonna go.
Where are you on right now? Like, what type of time
are you dating for a purpose? Is the next one.
What type of time are you on?
I told y'all 30 seconds. We getting off it.
Amani Talks podcast.
Yes. Hey, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're so pretty.
You know, you never know if people gonna look the same in real life.
You know, up until I was 27, I dated for fun completely. I think when you have a mindset to where you're dating for a purpose, things become very black and white to you. There's not much middle room. I'm not gonna fudge on anything because I have a purpose for what I'm doing. When you're willy-nilly and you're just dating for fun, anything goes. There are no rules.
What is your purpose for dating?
Marriage.
Okay, mine too. What's yours, Kiki?
Well, today it's
I caught you off guard there.
You did. I was ready to ask a question. Now you're asking about me. I don't really know.
Actually, on our first day is if you don't. Oh, y'all, Kiki brought Whitley.
Oh yeah, Whitley's here.
Camera shy.
It's my baby. It's bring your daughter to work day.
Bye. All right. So, are you dating for a purpose? We'll start with Andrea on this one. Go ahead.
I'm actually just kind of just like triggered as fuck right now. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to answer this question because I feel like it was just very dismissive and invalidating what you just did. And I just don't even think I have the wherewithal to even go on to the next topic right now. So you might want to go to someone else.
And then I'll go real quick. I'll say this. If we're going to have an adult conversation, I understand, Trigger Mike, you're running the show and I respect you. I want to say, that first, but I want the same type of respect. So if I feel like I want to say something else or add a little bit, just allow me that respect, because it is a sensitive topic and it does affect women. And that's what Mr. Lego was saying, show some compassion, some empathy, and some respect towards the women who identify with that type of subject. It's a sensitive subject. What if we talk?
Are we not supposed to be moving on? We moved on. Answer the damn question or get off.
You know what?
Answer the damn question or get off. This is crazy.
Answer the damn question and go. That's what you sound like, a cat. Now
we're supposed to be moving on. Okay.
Relax a little bit.
Thank you for calling me a cat. Now move on to the next topic.
Let me.
No, we're not going to let you go off and go on another tangent. We're not going to let you go off and go on another tangent.
Who are you?
Answer the question. Answer the question.
No, bro.
Mr. Lego. Mr. Lego. Mr. Lego. I'm not letting you have that. Go either answer the question or we can move on to the next person.
Who are you talking to?
Don't say
I'm
shit.
talking to the person right in front of me.
Hold on, y'all. We can't do this.
Either answer the question or we can move on. Just like Andrea. I respect Andrea for saying I'm not ready. She felt triggered. She said I'm not ready.
All right, y'all. My man Chicago Rilla gifted one Lapeef Network membership. Appreciate that, brother. Salute to you, Big Ant. My man, $10. Let go. Explain to me how you coach, but you're a failure at what you coaching. Goddamn. He on your head. But anyway,
that shit ain't even funny.
Let's get back into it. All right. Everybody get their heads together. We
Trigger
off
Mike.
that topic. Yeah.
Trigger Mike. That's not how it's gonna go, bro. They gotta be heard.
Mr. Lego, you're not the movie. You're not running this panel, bro.
Mr. Let go. So let me control the panel, y'all. We can't do this. We can't.
This ain't me. This is them.
But when y'all watch this back, at no point, because thank you for your statement, Ali. At no point is anybody dismissing anything that happened, and then go back and watch my statements. We understand
how we feel.
If they're saying that you're dismissive, that's how you're coming off, bro. You can't tell somebody how to feel. If all three women feel dismissed, you're dismissive.
And I feel dismissed as well, but I don't. Nobody's heard, so let's move on.
Bro.
Nobody felt hurt, so let's move on.
We're not fucking moving on.
Then get off.
No,
go home. Pack up your shit and go. Because nobody feels hurt. Because I don't feel like I feel like I feel hurt as well. Everybody on this panel doesn't feel hurt.
Nobody until we
gotta move on.
Resolved. Nobody's saying shit.
If that's the case,
nobody's saying
then you can go because you can't control the panel. You can go.
Jasmine, go ahead.
You and Trigger might.
Then let us just be me and Trigger. Then you can go.
Don't keep saying that to him. Let's respect one another, please.
All right, let's do it. Jasmine, go ahead.
Please. This is not the proper channel to have that type of discussion. It's way too sensitive of a topic, and we need mediators, we need therapists, all that type of people on this type of talk on this panel to have that type of conversation. So I think it's best we keep it really light. Am I dating for a purpose? I would say yes, now I am. Probably wasn't in my 20s just because it was just all about fun and getting free food. But now I would probably say yes, just because I noticed now, not really, how people was dating for love back in the day, and it's just like, oh, I ain't care what you got, I ain't care what you got going on. Now it's like when you realize they don't got much, it starts to hit a little different. So you want, things to make sense. You want to be a little more comfortable, especially when you get in your 30s. You're like, okay, yeah, I need this to make sense. Can he be a good father? Can he be a good chef? Can he, fix things? Can he cut grass? Like, I'm looking at all of those different things now when we're dating. So it's not just cute and fun. Let's just go out and hang out. Like, don't waste my time.
Indeed. All right, let's get Marcus in there.
So, what was the question? Are you dating for a purpose? I'm not currently dating anybody.
Well, I know you're not dating.
Can you tailor that question?
Yeah, what she was basically saying is they were doing, I think Jasmine made a good statement there, basically saying that's not what we're all doing in our 20s. And you have to move into a period of dating with intention. And do you think the general populace of people dating right now, are they dating with intention and a purpose to marry, or are they just going with the flow?
Yeah, no, I think dating in this current day and age is very much so going with the flow. I think situationships and the casualness of sex contributes to that, because I participated in a casual sex culture at one point in time, and I absolutely did not have an inclination to try and date towards marriage. A relationship, more than likely, but marriage, no. As much as the podcast might hurt the relations between men and women, I think it is drawing lines for extremes that push people towards having a dating for a purpose mentality. So there's that plus that can come from it. Because I've heard more women make a declaration that they would like to be married, and I've heard more men also make that declaration. The terms to get to that point has been extremely, let's say, tumultuous, to say the least. But I have like seen the declaration that would be the end goal for a lot of people. Not all, but a lot of people. Can we just make sure we try and let the other person completely finish before we talk? It's really hard for the audience if we yelling over each other. Just please keep that in mind, y'all.
Agreed. We're gonna use you as the voice of reason all night. All right. Ali, can we get the female perspective in there from you?
I will speak if I'm not going to be cut off.
No, you go ahead. You got it.
Ever again, because you all say, I don't have to be here. I can leave. So I would do that. I think that it depends on who I'm dating. So, when you're single, I believe that a person should date, they shouldn't be like on the first date trying to settle down and be intentional. I think on the first date, you should keep it light. You should talk about the weather, what you ate, what you're doing right now, little light stuff. Second date should be maybe a little deeper. Third date, maybe get around friends to see how you interact differently around friends versus on a date. I like to keep things light when I'm single and dating. So, am I intentional? Yes, but I'm not intentional with everybody. I am intentional with where I place you in my life, but I'm not intentionally going to place you. Oh, is he my husband? Okay, he's not my husband. I'm not going to talk to him again. He might be a good plumber. And this one might be a good, people serve different purposes in people's lives. So I think right now we're all searching for love, but you can get love in many places. So, you don't have to necessarily be like, oh, I need a ring. I need to be dating for marriage. Like, it'll come when it's your time. You'll meet that person when it's your time. Enjoy the journey. That's my opinion.
All right. Follow-up question. So you said you're keeping things light. Yeah, I guess kind of go with the flow. Do the men ever get upset and want more from you? Does that ever happen?
I think that when a man applies the right pressure, the woman will react. Like it's yin and yang, it's give and take, it's reciprocity. So I give you as much as you give me, and I don't trip if you're not giving me that much, because I understand I might not be that girl, but everybody do want to give me that much, but I'll clear that up. But I'm not tripping if you don't. Like, it's all good. I'm not trying to control nobody. I'm not creating a whole vision in my head off one date and trying to control and narrate this person into my life. No, I'm my own entity. I'm my own powerful force. So and we can move together and we can vibe. Even might be a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year. But when it's time to grow apart, we can grow apart. So I think in our community, we think marriages or commitment or real relationships and real building is forever. No, you could make some bread with somebody and then be like, okay, goodbye. That's my opinion.
All right. Sweeney, what do you got? Are people in general, I know you off the market, but are people in general dating for a purpose from what you've seen?
From what I've seen, there's a lot of hurt people out there. So there's a lot of guarding of their hearts. So I think people want certain results, but when you have to experience the dating market and the things that it presents to you, and you couple in their past and their past situations and relationships and dating experience, a lot of people approach it guarded. So no, I don't think they're dating with a purpose, but I think there's always a rhyme or a reason to why. And from what I've heard from the people I've spoken to, it tend to be they have a lot of bad dating experiences or a lot of past relationship experiences that guard them from dating with a purpose. My only solution to that is that one of the things that we all talked about is that you need to heal from your past situations. That way you can approach every single relationship or every single encounter after that in good faith. Mm-hmm. And I think as long as you do that, then you will find yourself dating with a purpose again.
All right. Rev. Hey man, this effect you got is freaking me the hell out.
My bad. I'm just, So I'll take it like this. Do what you want, right? There's a lot of people who are just dating just for fun. And a lot of times we have problems with that. Let people do what they want to do, right? If you want to date just for fun, because my particular path worked for me, but that doesn't mean it'll work for you. The only time that I have an issue with someone is when they complain about the results that they're getting, right? So you do whatever it is that you see fit for your life, but it has to be streamlined to where you want to go. You know what I'm saying? So if you just want fun, you just want to hang out, that's cool, right? I went through a phase like that, but I still was able to get married in my 20s, right? But even if I didn't, I think I probably still would have been fine, only because, it is what it is. Men's market value peaks a lot later in life than a woman's does in general, right? And you can tell by the results. So if you're the type of person that wants to play in your 20s, then you can't complain in your 30s and in your 40s and say, wow, there's really no good people left, right? If you don't mind and you feel like your beauty is not finite, then you might be in for a rude awakening, as long as you realize where you're going, right? Because a lot of people don't understand that part. If you think that your market value is going to be the same in your 40s as they were in your 20s, maybe not. People will want you for different reasons at that point, right? And we get confused, and women deal with it more because they'll still get attention, but it will be more so sexual attention, right? Because even in my 20s, I would date women that were like into the 40s. You wouldn't try to build to build a life with them. And that's the difference. So unless they're willing to go a little older themselves. So if you're like 40, then you probably have to push for somebody in their upper 50s or something like that as a woman, because at least that older man might see you still as a freshie, if that makes any sense. So as long as you understand where you're going, you just have to plan for it, right? Prepare, and you'll be good.
All right. Very, very succinct. All right, Andrea, you don't have to answer personally, but from what you've seen in this market, are people dating for a purpose?
I'll answer the question personally. No, I'm not dating for a specific purpose. I'm dating because sometimes I'm bored. Sometimes I'm hungry. Sometimes I want to watch the latest movie that just came out and I don't feel like paying for it. So, sometimes if I feel like it's necessary to date for a purpose because I'm looking for some type of like potential relationship, then I might push my intentions. But normally in the first beginning stages of wanting to get to know a person, I'm probably just attracted to them and I want to know what their day-to-day life looks like. And I want to know a little bit more about them. And if I decide to call them and be like, hey, let's go get a drink or something, it's really at that point to just go out and get a drink or go out and watch a movie. And then if I decide that I like spending time with that person, then I might start to, compartmentalize where I'm going to place them in my life.
All right. So MLG, I'm gonna let you close this one out, but let me say this. So Trev and Andrea, like what I like about what both of y'all just did is what Andrea said, a lot of YouTube gangsters would be like, oh, you toxic, whoopty whoop. But what's missing from the whole dating game in general is honesty. It's honesty of people's intentions to begin with. If you would just lead with that, it gives the power to the other person to say, I'm going to deal with this or I'm not going to deal with this. So MLG, I'm going to let you close it out, but I found a video that I had saved for one of my shows And I think it kind of encapsulates what we're talking about here. So after we watch the video,
I got
MLG,
a question before you go to that video.
Yeah, go ahead. Right
after the video.
All right, so watch this. I think this kind of sums up what we're talking about, and I want to know your thoughts after. Hold on. What do y'all think about that video?
I think they
that was
reversed the
like
roles. I think they reversed the roles, but that's legit.
Yeah.
All right,
Ali, you had a question, and we're gonna go to MLG.
Yeah, I got a question. Trev was like, yeah, when you in your 20s, you need to find somebody, or if you out here playing games and you're this feedback so you can mute. But you're in your 20s, you playing games, so don't get mad if you're in your 30s and 40s want to settle down. I'm just trying to figure out, are we telling people to basically finesse people? Like, you know, like, I need to use my looks to get a man now because I'm worried if they're gonna fade or something. Like, what is the purpose of the relationship? You know, if I'm gonna just use my beauty to get him. And I think relationships are based on connection and commonalities, and sometimes that differs as you grow. So you might be with somebody 10 years and you might separate. Are we teaching people, hey, get somebody now while you looking good and stay with them, try to trap them for the rest of their life? Because that's why a lot of people end up in divorce court. So I'm trying to figure out, do you all see yourselves with your spouses and your partners for the rest of your life? Ugly, beautiful, whatever, however you look. Do you see yourself with one person for the rest of your life? No, no cheating, no extra stuff. Now be real.
Yeah. And you know what? And yes, and this is what I'll say about that. You have to talk to some of the people of other countries, right? This doesn't happen on the continent of Asia that much, right? Like we don't have the same problems. They don't have that problem saying that, oh, okay, you know what? I'm going to wait till I'm like 40 to try to settle down, right? It's a frame of mind. They actually take family seriously, right? They want to build a family with somebody. So they never have this problem. Why is it we always have this problem, right? Our divorce rates are high as hell.
I'm talking about American men.
I think that's
we understand that.
We might not
foreigners.
We might have exact problems, but also the problems in China too is that they're overpopulated and they have to like live in these casket-shaped houses because they have no room. So I mean, we could talk about what kind of problems people are having, or not having, but it doesn't really validate the experience here, and it's not really relevant to the conversation.
Well, I'm talking about, if you're talking about America, right? I know Trigger Mike has all the data on this too, right? When you look at our families as Black people, like ours are the worst, and family is part of it. If you don't have a strong family foundation, that's where a lot of us are lost, right? We don't have that dual parent household to raise children. That's what it's more so about. A lot of us are just so damn selfish. All we think about is ourselves. That's the problem. Why can't you just have a mind frame where you build with somebody for something greater? You don't have to if that's not what you want to do, but these are the consequences, right? That's why our stats are so bad in every single category. We know what happens. I don't have to go over what happens with single parent households, right? We know every stat is worse. We know that. And that's what I'm saying. It's more important than just us. It wasn't about me, right? It was about finding somebody who's in the same lane that I am and moving forward with them to build a strong family foundation.
Forever.
That's what I was concerned with. Forever. That's the idea. Yeah, forever. Till one of us dies. Till death do you part. That's the motive.
That's admirable.
So let me say something back to that actual second video Trigger Mike said. What I've seen from that video is two people who refuse to see the other person's perspective. And the last things the guy said is he lacks the self-respect to walk away, right? So there's respect on both sides. So the first thing, going back to the earlier conversation, I was disrespectful by saying ain't nobody going da, right? So that's the first thing. So my apologies to the panel. The second thing is seeing the other person. At some point in the show, would you or could you open this dialogue again for the ladies? Because I know you got a show to run, but from a respect standpoint, would you at least take a second to hear what the women have to say at some point through the show, and then we can move on? Because looking at that video is two people holding something in, even though the other person did something to them, and they stay. And that's literally what abuse actually is. The woman gets mollywopped and she doesn't have enough self-respect with her, and she stays instead of leaving. And for the women to be on this panel still, they may feel the same way. But out of respect for you being a moderator of the show, would you hold space for them at some point later?
Yeah, we could do that.
Cool.
Thank you. Mike. I mean, not Trigger Mike, Mr. Lego and Trigger Mike. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, this is how men operate, right? We calm down a little bit. We yell at each other. Like, Sweeney is my guy. We yell at each other, whatever. But at some point, now we got to still politic and handle the issue and don't just bury it. You feel me?
All right. Did everybody go on that one?
So I want to kind of answer Ali's question, right? And I actually kind of want to also address something you said. So Ali asked Trev, so what do you expect someone to do? Do you expect them to do this relationship thing but they're not really into it? And I don't necessarily believe that's what Trev was getting at. He's basically saying, if you don't want to do something at this period in time, don't complain about the results that you get at a later period in time when there's a different level of expectations for you. So, for example, there may be a specific demographic of men that you may be, or a specific demographic of women that you may be interested in that will only be interested in you in a space of time. And if your window passes up and you start to get a different result, you can't get mad at the results because you made your decision, you made your choice. So later on, that choice is no longer available to you. You have a whole another set of choices available to you that you have to choose from. Or you can say you don't want those choices. It's fair. You can elect to opt in or opt out. But you can't opt out at one point and then try to jump back in. And then when it doesn't yield the results you want, you say, well, the world is unfair. Well, it was fair if you would have taken advantage of your opportunity when you had it. But then now that your opportunity is past you, and now you want that same result at a later time in your life. And this goes for men or women. There's some dudes that try to play football, that try to play ball at a later time in their life and try to reclaim that glory that they passed up on. And just to put it in a simpler term, but I think that's what he was alluding to, is basically, if you want this result, then go after it. But if you don't want that result, if you can get that result later on, fine, great. But if you go after that result later on and it turns out to be something different, don't complain about it because your time has passed for that result. You have a different set of results and opportunities to you.
I think, can I say something, Mr. Sweeney? I think that we're the only people who think like this. Like, oh, you gotta hurry up and marry somebody and find your partner while you're young. To the women specifically, because our men don't do that. They actually go after the paper in the bag and try to establish some type of business, and the men who are really super educated and like trying to change the trajectory of their family and trying to create generational wealth, they try to wait to have children and get married to their 30s and 40s. But here we are saying to Black women, yeah, you better, when you're 20s, you better get them while you can. I think that's the problem. And let me finish. That's a problem in our community because yes, we do need to start economic. I don't know who, can y'all mute? Because it's like the feedback is distracting me. It's rude. I think in our community, we need to learn group economics at an early age. This is true, but we have to be on the same page as men and women. If our men aren't maturing fast enough at the same rate as us, then what are we supposed to do if we're going on a date and the guy is not serious and he's not pursuing us for marriage? I'm sure if Andrea met a man tomorrow that was actually her type and her soulmate and he was ready for marriage and pursuing her, she would, probably fight a little bit, but she'd be gone. So like, men are the leaders. Y'all conquer countries and set wars. You can get a woman off the, pursue.
I got an answer
Okay,
for that.
hold on. Let us have our dialogue.
No, and then I just want to say, I think that we start these relationships and then, they don't work out. We have these children or whatever, you get married and then we divorce and we don't understand how to do it again, how to build a new relationship like the Brady Bunch did. They had how many kids in that household and they looked like they were winning, right? They combined, hold on, wait, let me land it here. They combined resources. When you apply for a loan, 2 incomes is better than 1. 2 social security numbers is better than 1. We better together than we are apart. So we got to stop with that mentality, like telling women, hurry up and get your man. Then our men out here getting the paper and we're not aligned. We should be able to start our lives at any point. If I started at 20 and had children and divorced, and then I want to start again at 40, I should be able to do that with a man my age.
Well, the only thing about that is one, that does happen in the white community. If you go into a lot of white spaces, they also talk about these things as well. If you notice that the average age that people tend to get married is around 27, between 27 and 29. So they typically are already in these relationships starting post college, maybe even post grad school. So we're not the only ones that say that, but also I think what happens is that we're at odds with one another. You have a group of men that want something totally different and a group of women that want something totally different. I tend to believe that unserious people attract unserious people. So if you are unserious in your dating habits, you're going to get unserious people. So and the thing is that, and I'm with you. Some dudes aren't serious in their 20s, and that's fair. And I'm not sitting here telling women that they have to deal with unserious men, but there are some serious men out there. So move on to the next one. But if you want to date for fun, I'm not speaking of this from the standpoint of you need to go out there and get it while you can. I'm speaking of it from the standpoint, just to answer your question. Why should I what happen if I don't want to do it right now? Then why are you telling me that it may not come later? And that's the only thing I was answering, is that because later that option may not be there. It may be for a different reason. It may come at a different.
Men are gonna die because
no, it's just
what's gonna happen to the men.
It's just that you might not, the things that they may be looking for might not be you anymore.
So let me answer Ali's question, because it's a solution. It's an easy solution, and we talked about this I think last week. The age thing. If you're 25, you get with a man that's 35. Now, guess what? You don't have that problem, because a 25-year-old man most likely don't have his life together. But if you date 7 to 10 years older, he has 7 years of wisdom on you, 7 years of experience on you, and he has gotten his life together to a certain degree, where you're still young and he is polished and where he needs to be. Next thing you know, everybody's happy. So that is the actual answer. And that's really what it's supposed to look like. You're supposed to be 7 to 10 years older than the woman. So the man gets what he wants and the woman literally gets what she wants.
No, you're not getting no young girls. Look what Jasmine got to say about this. Y'all gonna get Y'all crazy. Because I just want, Jasmine, before you go,
Jasmine got a 40-year-old.
Y'all was just tripping on Drea dating younger. Because, but y'all could date younger.
Nobody tripped on Andrea dating younger.
No, that man is like 19.
It don't
That's
matter.
different.
He's 21.
Yeah, he's 21. He's 21.
Well, we talked about 21 being too young.
Right, one mic.
We talked about 21 being too young last week, y'all.
Right. Go ahead, Jasmine.
But remember, age doesn't equal experience. Remember, y'all was laughing when I said my man 40 and didn't have a car. So
no, it's because he didn't have a car, Jasmine. Not because he was 40. There's nothing wrong with being 40, but he didn't have a car at 40.
I really want to know why he ain't had no damn car.
You get what I'm saying?
He's a flight attendant or something. He travels. He's a traveler. Like he travels mostly.
Does that make sense though? It's because he's 40 and doesn't have a car. It's nothing wrong with you dating a 40-year-old.
Y'all know that in every major city, it's cheaper to drive. I'm sorry, if you go to work 8 hours a day, it's cheaper to take an Uber
drive
than to own a car with car insurance.
Bro, I went to New York City. It was way cheaper.
If I lived in New York,
transportation.
if I lived in any city, I would not have a car. Like, I had to put 35 G's down on my car just to get the payment under $500 a month. That's too much money, right? So
if you're in the South, you need a car, bro. Like you cannot survive without.
I live in Texas. I need a car. I need one.
That's what I'm saying. In the South, you got to have a car.
I mean, I've dated older dudes and I've dated younger dudes, and none of them had their shit together. So it's like at this point, I don't even care how old they are.
That's a you thing and not a them thing, though. You gotta give a man your attention.
You got a question where you're asking him.
Your attention, Jasmine. You
Because
gotta give a man you gotta have standards and requirements, just like how I stood up for the ladies. That wasn't my damn problem, but that is a standard of mine. I can't be on a panel where that happened. So me and
Lego gonna keep on grandstanding.
At the end of the day, you gotta stand up for whatever it is that you want. You gotta be like, yo, this is what I want. Can I get it? Whether it's from a man, from a coworker, or from being on the panel. You gotta have standards, Jasmine. You can't just be, I only
Let
take
me
it.
just chime in. I want to say yes, Jasmine. Listen, I do interviews. Like I'm asking you what you're doing for a living. I'm asking you, about your family, and then I'm listening. Like I was just on the phone, and I mean, like I ain't gonna get it to me, but I'm listening, and I'm listening for red flags, and I'm not gonna answer the call anymore. I'm gonna block you.
Jasmine, what is in the way?
You don't have a good job. If you're not on my level, I'm not going to ever be around you because I only want to be around people that vibrate at this level or higher. I want to be around inspirational people, and us as Black women, we mothered the whole world. So
don't start. I was on your side. Don't start.
We mothered children that we didn't even bear. White children, the slave master children.
Ali,
I was on her side.
She's on the babble. I'm gonna mute because that's what we talked about. Respect. Remember, I'm just saying, as a Black woman, I mothered the entire world, and we got to stop.
Did you mother them?
What the hell is she talking about?
I did.
How you gonna take on How you gonna take on somebody else's experience and try to take credit for it?
Exactly.
You didn't do that.
Because I have been reincarnated multiple
times. Reincarnated my ass. Get the whole hell out of here. No, I look.
That was Cleopatra. It's
all right, let me get this super chat, then we're gonna get to the next one. All right, my man, or drama therapy, $5. This is why we are trying to get legislation passed to keep these coaches from trying to be therapists. This hurts the Black community. Who are they talking about?
We need more coaches and therapists. What the fuck is he talking? What the fuck is they talking about?
$5 person. Some coaches and therapists are steering a lot of people wrong right now. Including you.
Some non-coaches and therapists are steering people wrong. What are you talking about?
Let me say,
I'm just fucking with you, bro.
He's fucking everybody up.
I've watched somebody I know personally go through therapy. They're very open about therapy and whatnot. And what she said was she does believe that they're putting a lot of their personal stuff in the therapy. I know every therapist is supposed to be different in their style, right? Maybe the way they talk, but everything is supposed to come out of like the DSM-5, is it not? You're supposed to be
Yes.
giving treatment goals, not personal
Not
goals
personal.
on what you think you should be doing. And when she said that, I was like, oh man, that's probably a byproduct of what's going on with people's opinion and the gender war, and this happened to you, girl. It happened to me too. I was like, whoa, yeah, that's not supposed to be happening at
Did
all.
they say
So,
men or women, or she didn't say?
no, she only wanted a female therapist.
See, that's what I'm saying. I will always say never go to a female therapist, because I always say women are children. Women cannot compartmentalize. No, hold on. Think about that. The compartmentalization issue, Trigger Mike. Like, a woman is literally going to put everything in one room and then give advice from everything from that same
go
room.
ahead, Ali. Shake your head.
Men can
Go ahead, shake your head.
compartmentalize. Women can't. Do you agree with that or not?
Me? Dog. Hell no.
So you don't think women?
I don't agree
do you
with
think
that.
women can compartmentalize enough to put their own problems
know
aside
what?
and get somebody?
I think there's a lot of successful
Hold on,
therapists,
I want the
female
women to answer.
therapists that do.
Let's see what Ali got to say. What do you think, Ali?
I think that today's woman, I can honestly say, have been brainwashed by society to not compartmentalize. And
Thank you.
But if you got self-awareness and actualization, then you'll start to realize that.
Understood.
You'll start to see that society has made women think, oh, this one way. Like, okay, say for instance, they'll meet a guy on a date and think that automatically, because it's a date and society tells us that men are supposed to court you on a date, that this is my husband, even though he has said to you he don't want a relationship. And because you've had sex with him and you've released all these endorphins and all these chemicals, and y'all on these chemical drugs, you think you're in love, and you're not gonna date nobody else. You're gonna say, I can't concentrate on texting nobody and dating nobody else because I'm dating. Yeah, Jasmine, you're guilty because I see it in your face. So you're one of them. I can tell you're dating one at a time, and you're gonna slap up and gave him the cookies, and he done told you, whatever. And then he ain't the one deep down, but for some reason you got
that part.
I think there's a difference between saying. I think there's a difference between saying women don't compartmentalize from time to time and that women are not capable of compartmentalizing.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. So it's a capability thing, but I think it's learned behavior. So if you didn't grow up compartmentalizing, just like you didn't grow up playing basketball, you're not going to know how to do it. But you can learn. But it's going to take a lot of hours to do.
On the compartmentalized part, I do believe women can do it. What I think a lot of the women are doing in that therapy session, from what that person told me, is they lack in therapeutic boundaries. That's all. If you're feeling the emotion to connect with your patient, which I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to do, it's just a professionalism issue. A professional woman can compartmentalize and stay on the DSM-5 and write treatment goals without putting her own personal stuff in there. So if we're going to say women can't compartmentalize, I think that is like saying women can't be professional. I know women can be professional, and she can say, I really want to say this to this lady, but
Trigger, I would even argue that women who become therapists, just for the sheer work that they have to put in to even become therapists, are probably more likely to be able to compartmentalize than any normal average person, because your job literally calls for it.
And then now last year we saw that lady that spilled out how she felt about black men. She still can't get a job.
Excommunicated her ass.
She can't get a job. So it is in the best interest of every
extreme, though.
Every professional that holds a license to be objective. So I like, most therapists are women. Like, it's a female dominated profession. So they can absolutely do it. All right, let me get into this next video. Did I get that last super chat? I did. This one I titled real quick. I just pulled it up. Hopefully y'all haven't When you focus on what you lack, you miss your abundance. I'm gonna let this be a free for all. Who got something on it? I think that was pretty powerful.
I have we're talking about coaching and therapy, right? I have a principle that I teach to people that I coach. One of the principles, I have a set of principles because I go by the principles, like the DSM-5. It's called to want is to suffer. So you sit down and pay attention to what you want. Just like Trigger Mike said, he had to pay $35,000 to get a car note under 500. Well, to get that type of car, I'm sure is $80, $90 to $100,000. So that means before you go out saying, oh, I want this car, you got to look at how much you're going to suffer for it. And understanding that most car payments, car loans are like 6 years long. So can you pay this high car note, $800, $900 a month for the next 6 years? Because that's going to be the suffrage, because within the second year, that car isn't going to be as nice, or you're not going to be loving the car as much. It's just going to be a car. So to want is to suffer goes for everything, whether it's a relationship, a car, or anything. So yeah, people don't understand that they want shit that they cannot sustain. They just want it like freaking children. But life ain't about no bunnies and rainbows. Like, you got to look at it down the road. Can you sustain a marriage? Can you sustain a relationship? Can you sustain being an entrepreneur? Because I've been an entrepreneur for like 7 years. The shit is hard. Like, some people just turn around and say, I got to go back to work. So yeah, it's the sustainability to wanting something and then actually holding on to it.
I don't know how you had to use me in my car to make your example, but I feel what you're saying.
Shady.
Sustainability, bro. You had to put that money down in order to make sure you don't fuck up later on down the road.
First of all, it's a hell of a flex to be able to drop $35,000 on a car cash.
You know why I could do that? Because I'm married.
That's his credit.
Hey, I'm married and I couldn't drop $35,000 on a goddamn car.
No, that's because he got a 500 credit score.
Hey, call it what you want. But that ain't being married ain't the only reason. Exactly. Being married ain't the only reason why he was able to do it. He got his weight up.
I'm always trying to throw rocks in there for marriage, bro. But quick side note, when you live off one income and save the other, ooh boy, you could do things like that. All right, Marcus, you were about to get in there before MLG went ahead and sneak diss me. All right, so go ahead. You on mute, bro?
Yo, you dropping bars, bro.
It didn't look like he was.
Yeah, and I say I 100% agree with him.
You know, you went like Rap City the Basement to 2024, right? That's what
I keep the shooters shooting. I keep the looters looting. Y'all,
you know we know who that is.
Get the hell out of here with that.
Keep the pewters pewting.
Trying to rap and shit, man.
Yo,
come on.
Keep the pewters pewting.
I never understood why people like him. I don't understand.
Took him out of the top.
This man sounds like.
Look, I keep the computers pewting. That's fire.
That's not fire,
I make the computers compute.
That
literally took him out of the top.
Y'all are so corny.
Bro, no, it's not.
Sorry, lady. Sorry. Let's get back.
You a cool ass dude, but he ain't
that's
no
how you feel. I got you. Welcome to the O. That's what you want to hear. I had this. All right, let me go.
He was good. He was good actor. He did good. Played in full.
This man sound like Lester the court jester, man. Get on up out of here.
Come on, corny balls.
This Lester the court jester.
Hey, check it out.
Man, come on.
Check it out. One time for the one time. Okay, so
now you trying to sound like Slick Rick.
Hey. Why aren't we satisfied with what we have? Because it ain't Sweeney's turn to talk, so he ain't satisfied when it's his turn to talk. So he want me to just play these games.
Just play the game, man. Just play the game.
Back. All right, so but I think he said, your attention dictates your intention. And I say that all the time. Like, if you get a red car and you really think about red cars, you start to spot them so much more than before you had that red car or that was on your mind. I think it works the same way with women. If you're intentionally focused on the worst segment of women, you're going to seek them out and see them at every corner and pretty much ignore all the women that are not like that. They fall to the wayside. So it may not be that all these women are this bad. It may be you're hyper focused on that specific type of woman. And it's the same with men. If you are hyper focused on a specific type of man, that's all you see as far as the men that exist. So it's like we create our own algorithms within our life outside of the internet. We have I don't know it's a term for it, but it's like a scientific term where we separate things in boxes, and we do it for our survival. Like, so we can notify something is dangerous or not, and it's adapted over the years to be able to do it with like socialization impacts. But the reason we're not satisfied with what we have is because most people don't love themselves, and most people don't know themselves, and because they don't know themselves, they don't love themselves. And not knowing yourself is always going to equal you not loving yourself. And if you can't love yourself, you can't love nobody else. So you always going to be in a lack mindset. Abundance requires you to be complete. When you feel like you have everything and it's overflowing, when you feel like you're missing something, you're going to always be reaching for the next thing. It's rare that you find people who are content that just feel desperate. Desperation is another form of being incomplete. You don't have the things you need. Most people who have the things they need and are abundant feel like not only do they have what they need, but it's so much more of the thing that they have that they're not concerned about losing what they have in the moment. Yeah, I just think people don't know themselves and don't love themselves.
People buy shit and do shit for validation specifically because of that. And that's what's sad. They have this need to impress other people, and they end up going broke trying to impress other people. But it's because they don't love themselves, like you said.
I actually think that I don't know how to really view the video, because I don't think there's anything wrong with being ambitious. To me, I see it as, I mean, I know it's okay to be content in your surroundings, but I always want to continue to elevate as a person and evolve as a person. And so that means I'm going to have to attain things that are unfamiliar to me or things that I've never experienced before. So that's something I don't have or haven't had. I think that has a lot to do with just being an ambitious person and really motivated and determined to continue to elevate and want more when it comes to, I mean, I don't know, anything. It could be, it just depends on the person. It could be more education, it could be more finances, it could be more room, like if you want to get a bigger house. So I mean, I don't know, I feel like it can go both ways. I think that you know what,
I got a follow-up question. Maybe this, do you think that the average person, modern person, right, is mature enough to control their thirst for ambition and not let it distract or ruin other areas of their life? Can I give you an example? When we use the term ambition, we never really talk about how it works in reality. So let's say I have an ambition, but I'm a married man. Any ambition that I have is going to put pressure on my wife, right? Last year or 22, I said, babe, I told my wife, I said, babe, I'm going to start making money on YouTube, and it's going to take a lot of hours in the lab. You may have to bathe the kids at night. I'm not going to be able to read to them, so you're going to have to read to them. I stayed in this lab and I started making money on YouTube, but that put a lot of pressure on her to only do night activities. So then it comes to a point where I was doing it so much, I never stopped to check in to say, hey, damn, do you need help? Is there anything that you want to do at night? I'm just in the lab every night now. So your ambition puts pressure on, let's say your spouse or your partner or whatever. And is everybody mature enough to control their ambition so they don't step on the other person or don't ruin their life? Do you think people are controlled enough or mature enough for that?
I honestly don't think it has anything to do with maturity as much as I think as it has to do with your decision-making skills. Because if you know that you hadn't met a certain goal or a certain peak in your life and you decided to commit yourself to something else, it to me is almost like a lack of self-discipline, because you know you wanted to be somewhere else and you created an obstacle that distracted you from what your real life ambitious goals was, or your passion or your pursuit of happiness was. So I feel like it has a lot more to do with self-discipline.
Well,
and I'm gonna chime in real quick because I really wanted to say, when I was listening to your story, I was like, you don't take any accountability. If you listen to this again, you said basically, I had a goal, and because I had ambition in one goal, I was siloed. I was not able to multitask. I was not self-aware. I became less self-aware. Just because you're ambitious don't mean you lose cognitive common sense. To know that you got your kids in the next room that you gotta still take care of, and you making money on YouTube. You're gonna hire a nanny, or you're gonna hire some help. But common sense ain't that common, I see.
Damn. I don't know how we took that to that was a dramatization, by the way. But y'all definitely took that left.
She took it left.
When you said you didn't check in on her, that's kind of like how she got you.
Yeah, I mean, you basically said,
I checked in on her while my ambition was, bubbling, but you was like, I didn't even check in on her.
Yeah,
like,
it was a dramatization to show you how.
Her, though. You didn't
y'all missed the message that he was giving. He said that your ambition, i.e., his ambition, can take a toll on those around you. And he explained and fleshed out to y'all how his ambition, but it can. He didn't say that it did.
It did. It
can.
You can't say that it did.
It did.
But it doesn't have
You're not
to.
listening.
Just because you're ambitious doesn't mean you can't multitask.
Well, I didn't say that it has to. I said it can. That's what he said. It can.
Ambitious people know how to multitask. They set calendars and they set reminders. I'm ambitious. I have many jobs.
Well, you telling me that something else in your life has not suffered because of your ambition?
Hold on real quick. Let me tell you, Ali, that's not true, because the two other ways that ambition is characterized is blind ambition and over ambitious. So people do not know. People who are blindly ambitious do not know how to control it. People who are over ambitious do put pressure on others and become dismissive, right? So that's what I'm saying. The way we talk about ambition, we just need to be aware that it can put pressure on those around you. That's all I'm saying.
And he just practically gave an example of how his ambition did do that.
Okay, well, what I'm saying is, when you told the story, you lacked accountability and you self-awareness. You were just saying it like, oh, because I have ambition now that things are going to lack in the household. No, you supposed to wait. Yes, you did. You said, oh, sometimes it'll lack. And let me give you an example. And you gave the example of how your things lacked in your household, which was silly to me, because as a man with ambitions and who's going to different levels in life, you have to learn how to delegate. That's the number one rule of a leader, to be able to delegate and orchestrate what's going on in your household.
Well, technically, he did delegate it. He delegated it to his wife.
You as the captain
I mean, but that you said delegate. I'm just giving you an example. You said you need to delegate, and he delegated to his wife.
Speak for himself, Sweeney.
So
Let's about who did you delegate it to?
This is the part I'm not understanding. If I'm lacking self-awareness, how am I able to articulate to you exactly what I did?
Because when you were doing so, you lacked accountability, which means that you lack self-awareness. When I'm telling a story and I'm saying that, oh, I became ambitious on this one thing, I'm going to say, oh, and I lacked in this area, and I'm going to also follow up with how I repaired it. You just basically said, I put it on the wife, and the wife had to figure it out, and I'm still doing it, and I'm making money. Boy, you better tell me how you fixed your wife extra load you put on her.
And that's a good part. That's a good segue into it, because you did kind of say something that I guess isn't unrealistic. You said, as a man, you're supposed to. Do you know how men basically learn in a companionship, in a marriage? We got to make mistakes. Period. We got to make mistakes. So we don't just. I know people think that we were born knowing. We're not born knowing. We got to make mistakes.
Because you be in this, we be talking back and forth all night. So how did you fix it? Because you said that you put a burden on the wife. So how did you fix the mistake?
You see, that was the question you should have asked me first.
Exactly.
I'm asking now.
Exactly. That's the question.
I am self-aware enough to walk out. See, I keep a coffee cup. I love coffee.
Just to let go.
I'm self-aware enough to walk out of my office and see my wife in the game room, head in her computer, and be like, damn, babe, you didn't get your reports done? You can pull me out of this lab. This is not more important than you and the kids. And she said, I've been trying to hang in there for you. I know this is important to you, but I need some help. And Trigger Mike wasn't on YouTube for a long ass time, as you can see. So that's it.
So Ali, him actually telling the story was actually him being accountable because he was able to tell the story. Maybe in the moment he could have been wrong or whatever, but to be able to tell the story, that does mean he held himself accountable.
No, because a lot of men put that pressure on their wives and think that that's just their job. And I wanted to hear how he relieved that pressure. I understand that he didn't listen. I said I wanted to hear how he relieved the pressure. You all loved these gender wars. I could think
it's not a gender war. You gotta address things correctly. That's the only thing I'm saying. No, how did
I not address?
All right, let me explain it then. Let me explain it. We were talking about how ambition can affect those around you. All he simply did, yes, we were. Yes. That was literally the conversation.
I mean, we were, but I'm saying.
All right, hold on, wait. You asked me to explain. You asked me to explain. I'm gonna explain. So we were talking about how ambition can affect those around you. That was his point. And then he proceeded to give you an example of how blind ambition can affect those around you. And he said, my blind ambition affected my wife, possibly in a negative way. Now, what he said was you should have asked that question first, which was, how did you help your... You said he didn't have any accountability.
First of all, you're not being accountable. Putting the pressure on her and not being self-aware.
Right.
Hold on, wait. I shouldn't have to tell a grown man that's sitting here saying,
"Oh my God!"
And that's the problem. And that's the problem right there, Ali. You're not listening. You're not listening. You're not. You're just trying to respond, and you're just trying to respond. You're just trying to respond and push something.
No, I think that you're trying to be right. So you're right, sweetie.
I'm not trying to be. I'm just trying to explain something.
I think that I am right. I can say what I want to say. I said
we're going to come back to this.
In other words, you're trying to be right.
All right, y'all.
Self-accountability.
Let's get Jasmine in on this. Why aren't we satisfied with what we have?
Oh, I don't know. That was funny. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a dog in this fight because I feel like I'm very, I guess, appreciative of everything, like needs, especially, and all that. And then the wants are great, so I'm appreciative that I can get these things and stuff. So I don't know. I feel like, but I like what Andrea said about, just having ambition. So I feel like that's really why some people probably aren't satisfied with it, because they just see better for themselves. They just want to, grow beyond there. And I don't mean that they don't appreciate what they already have, because I love everything I have. It's just that I do want to have more. You can always just try to be better, or you'll just be stuck in complacency and you'll always be working that job, only making X amount of money, or always accepting crumbs and stuff like that. So you can always, ask for more, especially if you're deserving of it. Now, if you're a person that don't work hard, then, don't even try. But, if you are somebody that's definitely got some goals for your life, I can see you being unsatisfied with, a low portion in life when you can have better.
Okay. Trev.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to address that situation we're just talking about, because I think people missed the very first part of what it is that you said. The first thing that you said was you talked to your wife and told her what was happening, and she agreed. Like, what people have to understand is that if you have a good wife, she's going to support you. You come together as a family and you say, okay, we're about to level up. We're trying to elevate, so we're going to grind right now. And him, as the leader of his household, he go ahead and make that decision. She supports it. What's the problem with that? It's going to be a heavier load for both of them. That's just what it is. If I need you to help compensate on this and you agree to it, why should anybody have a problem with that? That's how it works. You come together and make it work. There's nothing wrong with that. I think as far as the video is concerned, I saw the homeboy Rodney break it down. He said it was basically the 80-20 really, right? Mm-hmm. So people will look at things and they'll say, you know what, this is so bad. When you go to other places, and I'm bringing it back to that, yes, a lot of people are, and even here, some people are just happy with the simple life, and they're not worried about financial problems. They're not worried about buying the latest Benz. They're not worried about having to vacation 4 times a year, and they're okay. They're more concerned about, okay, are my kids doing well? Do I have food? Do I have my children in school, good schools? There's some people that it just doesn't take that much. And it's all about your perspective. Sometimes we're worried about the wrong things. We're always looking at what it is that we don't have. And most of our lives are pretty good. Everybody, I think their lives are likely better than the average person, right? And we don't appreciate it sometimes. Family is important. The people around you, your friends, they're important. The food you're consuming, that's important. We worry so much about material things, and we let that derail our lives. We just have to have this. We have to be doing this. And we even apply it to relationships. We heard a long list of requirements earlier about what a man is supposed to have, right? He's supposed to be doing this in his life, with his life. He's supposed to look like this. He's supposed to talk like that. There's a whole long list of things that he's supposed to have, right? And we're not worried about, is he a person that I can get along with for the long term? Is he of good character? Will he make a good father? Is he a good leader? We always worried about the wrong things. It seems as if like our nature is just to be unhappy. And I know human nature in general, we kind of just worry about the wrong things sometimes. And we don't have to do that. It's all about your perspective. And one of our biggest problems, including in relationships, is not understanding what actually matters.
All right.
In other words, women or children.
Godly. To the point of the conversation, I'll always ask people this question: when is enough enough? Because a lot of people don't. They have, you get all this stuff and then you say, well, I want more, and then I want more, and more, and more, and more. And look, and as you're driving for this, you're driving yourself crazy because a lot of people want things that they can't even get. You want shit you can't even have. That's not even in your wheelhouse. And you so focused on either other people's shit or shit you can't have, you lack the ability to recognize that you have a lot around you in that moment. You start to neglect your kids, you start to neglect your family, you start to neglect your job, chasing after things. When is enough enough? But hey, look, you got the most ambition on the planet, fair. Go ahead and shoot for the stars. I'm not mad at anybody that tries to shoot for the stars, but when you find yourself constantly looking over the fence to see what somebody else got and how you got to get it, to ask yourself, what does that help you? What does that make your life look like? When you're constantly looking to see if the grass is greener on the other side. And this isn't anything. You hate your job because you're looking at your friend's job saying, oh man, he must have a better job than me. And then you get over there and find out the job ain't what you want. So now you're looking back at a different job. Or you riding in your car that you spent your hard-earned money on. Hard-earned, you were happy at first. And then your friend ride past in a better car, and all of a sudden you gotta have that car. That's what social media did to y'all today. That's why all of y'all looking at everybody else's fucking relationship trying to figure out why your shit suck. When in reality, you got a good thing going. But because you ain't doing what they're doing, your life sucks.
Now, what if their life really actually does suck, though?
Well, then if your life sucks, there's some objectable things that we can notice. Like, you're going to notice if your life sucks or not. I'm talking about people who got relatively decent, good lives, and they're looking at social media and saying, why ain't my life that life? They looking at basketball wise, or they looking at fucking, they're watching you, they're watching people like Sprinkle Lady talking about something, well, I want what she has. Or they on TikTok looking at this woman that got this soft life saying, well, I want that life. Or you got men that got good women, got a good woman at home, but because your woman ain't doing what this guy on YouTube woman is doing, all of a sudden your woman is trash.
I think we have to, I think as humans, we naturally want to excel and do better, you know, and you know, sometimes you want a better boyfriend or better girlfriend. Because sometimes going up, when you're going up just in life, you meet a woman or you meet a guy at this particular point, y'all weren't meant to be together. Y'all just ran into each other while you was on the way up. And then next thing you know, you going up and this person is still here. Yes, get a new woman or get a new man because this person ain't excelling. You gotta keep growing in some type of way.
At that point, then nobody on this panel should be complaining about the divorce rate because it is what it is. You gotta grow.
No, you gotta find somebody that wants more.
No.
Also, you
gotta.
And
let me say this. But that's how relationships end. If you're in a relationship with this person and you're married to him, and y'all got kids, and you say, "Well, that person is no." But that's what I'm speaking to. That's what I'm speaking to.
I said a girlfriend, bro. Sweeney,
let me ask y'all a question.
I'm not talking about girlfriends.
Sweeney,
let me
ask
argument.
Okay, if you're talking about girlfriends, fair.
So the whole thing about it is find somebody that wants more, just like you want more, because some people are content.
Hold on, MLG, hold on, because we got to put a cap on that though. Because at what point is wanting better dishonoring your commitments? Because according to you, if I'm supposed to want better in all things all the time, when am I going to be held to the commitments that I make?
It has to be with somebody that somewhat has the same ambition as you. You know, she wants better and you want better, and y'all are growing together because y'all both, because some people, men and women, they super content. They happy at their job. And now you want to be an entrepreneur. Because I remember I left my $80,000 a year job, and that was a lot, like what, 6, 7, 8 years ago or whatever. And I was content with that. I was cool, but I used to stare at the window just looking at the world like, yo, I don't want to be stuck in this dealership all day. But if I was married to a woman that was content with her job, guess what? I would have ruined my marriage. And instead, I would have stayed at that dealership because my wife, if I was married, would have been content because I wouldn't have wanted to interrupt my marriage. But I would have been miserable because that's what I'm saying. You got to get with somebody that is equally ambitious as you.
Well, to Mr. Let Go's credit, he did say Mr. Let Go's credit, he did say he's talking about girlfriends.
Girlfriend, boy.
If that case, hey, look, it is what it is. But to trigger Mike's question, when you do have commitments, at some point you got to understand the commitment that you made. And I would hope that if Mr. Let Go was in that situation where he was married, and I get it, you might be staring at that window saying, "This job, I don't like it. It is what it is." But that's the job that's keeping your family afloat. So you got to ride with punches.
That's what I'm saying. I would have stayed.
And I guess what I'm trying to say is that what we need to do is find the silver lining in our lives that we already have. Because having that mindset that, man, my life sucks because I don't have that is how you fuck up your marriage. Is how you wind up fucking up a good thing because you're like, well, I don't have that, so therefore everything is bad. And then you start treating everybody around you terribly. You start treating your wife terribly. You start performing terribly on the job. You start treating your kids some type of way because you're not happy, rather than saying, hey, look, because and if I was in Mr. Let Go position, my job sucks, right? But it pays the bills and it makes me happy, and I come home on 2 wheels every single day. I fly in the driveway to get home to my family.
It's not
you know what I mean? So I find
everybody's goal in life.
It's not. And I'm not saying that. I'm just simply saying be happy with the things that you have. Stop looking over the fence trying to hope that you trying to compare yourself.
Sweeney.
Ali, seriously, you're right. You're right. I am supposed to land my plane. I'll give you that.
I want to say this though. This is what's crazy. I didn't have a girlfriend, but me and we were dating, right? And I was trying to get laid off from my job because I wanted to get unemployment as I, do my entrepreneurship, right? So I literally would be on the phone with her like, they won't fight, because I was one of the better salesmen, and I literally just shut down, just was acting like I didn't want to sell so they can like lay me off or something like that, right? Black people don't just leave, they get themselves fired. So I was trying to get myself fired, and she literally dumped me because she was like, I don't understand, why the hell you got a good ass job and you want to get fired? Something's wrong with you. So she left me mainly because I was ambitious and she didn't see what I was trying to do. And what are you talking about?
I think
if I'm better than everybody, I'm sorry.
Better than everybody in every story you tell.
I think
I got dumped. What are you talking about? She broke my heart. What are you talking about?
I think
left your silly ass in the dust.
Let's get Andrea in there. Go ahead, Andrea.
I think that there's such thing as healthy ambition. Like, I think there's a difference between, because we've said a couple things about watching somebody else's life and wanting that, and I don't think that you understand that it's not ambition, that's envy. It's a difference between envious and ambitious, and I think that if you're living a life where you have this job that you aren't happy with and but it pays the bills, to me that doesn't sound like it's a fulfilling life. It feels like I want to wake up in the morning and be happy doing what I'm doing, even though like it could be stressful at times or it could be overwhelming, but it's what I envision for myself. So I feel like a lot of times, because we don't have the wherewithal to achieve more and not box our mind in saying things like that's outside of my willpower, or that's something I never have, we project that onto other people because we weren't ambitious enough to take a risk and jump for something that we want. We want to try to point the finger and convince somebody what they can't have. Fair. And I don't think that's healthy ambition. So
Andre, I got a question for you. Mm-hmm. Do you think we can have it all?
I do in some retrospect. I feel like you can accomplish whatever you put your mind to. You can, whatever you set your intentions on, whatever you feel like you're manifesting in your life, you can have it, and you can have access to whatever you want as long as you have strong belief in yourself, confident, and not, choosing.
Well, let me rephrase that. Do you think we can have it all at the same time?
Yeah.
Woo. All right, this is too hot of a question. We got to go around the panel. Jasmine, do you think that we can have it all?
No.
Trev. No.
No.
MLG.
That's a no. There's no way.
No. Absolutely, no. Yes.
No.
Yes,
you can have. A woman. I'm convinced he's a woman.
You can have everything you want. Marcus. What are you talking about?
Can we have it all? The chat. Can we have it all? I need to know.
Yeah. You content, you already have it all. If you extremely overly ambitious, then you can't have it all.
Okay. Ali.
Because all is relative.
When you, like Marcus said, like when you are content, then you have it all. Like once you're happy and you are grateful, you stay in a state of gratitude, then why isn't that a state of bliss?
Okay.
See, y'all are not ambitious.
The reason why I asked that question. The reason why I asked that question, because Andrea did say something that was very interesting. She basically she said, I'm trying to get this right. She said that damn, I forgot what she said. Fuck. But I'm gonna go with this then. Oh, I remember what she said. I remember Mr. Lego. Come on, bro.
Oh man, and
yeah, hey, shit, I got an old soul, man. My mind be going. But hey, it's cold in this room. It's cold in this room. But no, Andrea did say something. She was talking about how if you're not happy at something, or if you don't feel that you're happy, you should be able to go into this, and you should be able to go and find your happiness or whatever, right? And what I wanted to say to that is, I don't believe we can have it all. So you have to find happiness. So if just because a person may be unhappy about the job that they work, doesn't mean that they're unhappy in all aspects of their lives. So you can be, my job sucks, but I love my family. My job sucks, but I love the freedom that I have outside of it. Because life is about choices and trade-offs. You make a decision.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You make a decision. You get something in return, but that means that something else may have to sacrifice for that. And we're all actually on this panel examples of that. Every last one of us are examples of sacrificing something for something else.
I disagree.
You don't think that you sacrificed anything in your life to get where you are?
I feel like in the context that you're speaking of, where you're saying life is about sacrifices and trades and saying I'm not happy with my job, but I'm happy with my family, I feel like that's not a fulfilling life. I want to be happy, period. I want to be happy with everything. I want to wake up in the morning and be happy when I go to work. I want to be happy with my family, because I don't think that you're understanding or acknowledging the fact that if you're not happy at a place that you spend majority of your day at making, money at, that's going to affect how
your home life.
Family. It's going to affect
your health,
how you go home.
And your health.
You're not happy. And I can't, I don't want to live a life that's not fulfilling. I don't want to be unhappy. So whatever I decide I'm going to do or invest my time in, I'm going to do that with the intent that it's going to make me feel fulfilled and make me feel happy when I wake up in the morning.
Well, Andrea, do you know is a big difference between happiness and fulfillment? I agree with you with the job, but happiness in itself is fleeting. All right. Nobody's happy all the time. You could be fulfilled, just like what Marcus said, because you can have it all with what you have with your family, your kids, and whatever, and be fulfilled. But that does not mean Marcus will be happy all the time, but his life is fulfilling. You feel me? So just please, for all you women, do not think that happiness and being fulfilled are the same thing. I don't give a shit about being happy. I give a shit about being fulfilled.
You can't say that because for some people, like me myself, fulfillment means happiness for me. So as long as whatever I'm doing fulfills me, I'm happy.
I'm just trying to let you know that it's not the same thing. Happiness is dopamine. It's
I
like
just want to add, I never got a chance to even add. I just want to add.
Go ahead, Ali.
For a minute. So I just want
to.
Go
ahead. You got it, Ali.
Thank you. I think that
what an attitude though.
As it pertains to the question, are we satisfied with what we have? In the Black community as a whole, probably not, because a lot of things or even poor community, I won't even put a race on it, because a lot of things are controlled at the bottom from the top down. So you can find happiness, but are you satisfied with the bare minimum? Are people satisfied at the bottom? And that's when you look at what the next person have, and you might want a piece of it, and there's nothing wrong with it. But should you be envious? No, you should not be envious. But you have to remember, it's in your DNA to be where you are. Your ancestors were happy and content in that neighborhood, in that house. So if you want to continue on that path, then go ahead and stay there. But if you actually have other ambitions in life and you want to change the trajectory, then you're going to have to move around. So you could be satisfied there, but you should have ambitions to move around, especially in our community. A lot of things were taken, wealth, historical facts, and we need to get out here and get it. That's my opinion. So
okay, I got a follow-up question.
Cardi B hates her life because she's an introvert, and she said it so many times. She's extremely anxious. So she literally says, every time I go outside and just do something at a party, it turns into some viral situation and people are making fun of her. She's literally like, I hate my life. I wish I was broke again. So some people have it all and literally hate their lives. So
I went and saw her at the Houston Rodeo in like 2017, 2018, and she said that exact shit on stage.
She says it all the time.
She had to take a break in the middle of her set and said, y'all, there's too many people here. Y'all know I get nervous. I can't deal with this, my anxiety. I'll be right back. We gonna take a 10-minute break. Everybody was like, is she playing?
What she said is a perfect example of life is about choices and trade-offs.
Right.
It's a prime example of that.
That's not true. Like, I feel like y'all are not.
That is the truth. She said it out of her. Don't come in here talking about that's not true. She said it out of her mouth.
Okay, well, this is what I'm saying. Okay, so relax. What I'm saying is, if she's not happy with her circumstances, only she has the ability to change that. Nobody's forcing her to continue to go into the studio, create music. She can give it all up and move to the middle of Ohio, in the middle of nowhere, like Dave Chappelle did. She can live.
Just a thought. Just a thought. When you commit to a relationship, you got to see it through. She committed to a contract. She got to see it through. Your mindset is, I'm happy and I'm just going to do. When you are committed to something, you can't just jump around and doing.
Yes, you can. You can absolutely do whatever you want to do.
So if you marry, you're going to leave your marriage?
You're not listening and you're not receiving.
You signed to a record deal. You're just going to get sued?
You're not receiving the message that I'm giving to you. A contract is something that you can break. Yeah, you might have some things that you might have to. Yeah, you might have some things that you might have to. That may be a consequence of it.
Okay, then technically she's right.
Okay,
technically she's right.
What I'm saying is this.
Because she just said it. She said you can break the contract. Yes, there are going to be consequences that come along with it. But if you don't like the life that you're living, then you gonna have to make the change, and you got to
We're
deal with
talking
whatever that
about a
comes with.
stripper,
Let me
a
say,
rapper.
Come on, Ali.
I just want to interject real quick. Let's not idolize.
All right, one mic, y'all. One mic.
We're not idolizing.
Andrea is
I'm just
technically
making an
right.
example.
For her.
Use a person who
idolizing
used
somebody.
drug men and strips as an example for happiness.
Ali, can you let
gotta
her finish? Let her finish,
All right,
Ali.
Go ahead,
one mic.
Andrea.
Andrea, go ahead.
As someone who was also a dancer, I'm not going to allow her profession in her younger years affect her point or invalidate her experiences here in life.
Right, dancers are people too.
No, I said that she drugged her clients that she said that admitted to.
I
So
mean,
why are we talking about she's a happy
I
person?
drug my clients.
Ali, what does
I
that have
sold
to do with? What does that have to do with what we're
Same
talking
thing.
about?
It has
That has nothing to do with what Andrea's referencing.
It has nothing to do with happiness. She's not the protocol.
Ali, what are you talking about?
Ali,
Why did you
Ali,
unmute?
that makes no sense to what Andrea is talking about.
She
No,
muted.
I'm talking about Mr. Lego bringing up Cardi B as an example of not.
But it is just because you don't like the example doesn't mean that it's not a good example.
If you don't like Cardi B, that's on you.
I'm saying, of course, she's not happy. She used to drug her clients. Let's use some.
What does that have to do with?
Ali,
That has nothing to do with what.
It does. Yes, it does. You're not going to invalidate my point.
I sold
Hey,
crack.
y'all.
That means I drug my clients
every time you speak. So I wouldn't even come at me.
Ali, if I sold crack, that means I drug my clients too. So
yes, I wouldn't expect happiness from you. You
all
come
I'm
from
saying
the
is
gutter.
All right, Andrea, finish the point. We're gonna close it out. Go ahead.
All I'm saying is this, because in that specific industry, stuff like that is not foreign. So it's not like when I heard her talking about it, I knew exactly what she was talking about because that kind of stuff happens. It's not good, and I recognize that, like, for most people who aren't
it's bad
familiar with that lifestyle, it's shocking. But in reality, if you're in that industry, it happens. And
that's still Andrea. Don't harp on that. Don't let Ali get you off your square because that's a whole nother thing.
We support you over here, Andrea.
Go ahead and get on about the happiness and
right. Don't worry about Andrea.
Because I like where you was going with that.
I mean, don't worry about Ali.
If y'all just tuning in, well, you finished? All right, 30 seconds.
No, I'm not finished. All I'm saying is that life is about choices, and I feel like we overcomplicate our lives, and ultimately we become self-destructive, and we get in our own way. It's very easy to decide, I don't like this job anymore. I think I want to do something else, and you decide to just do something else. Like, it doesn't have to be like, but I got to do this, but I owe this person that, and I owe this person this, and I got to people please here. You actually don't. You can say, I'm not happy with this. I'm going to make the decision to do something else, and you can just pursue that.
A job isn't usually a contract, though. You agree to work there, but you're not signing a 2-year, 5-year long commitment.
Do you get what she's saying? If y'all just tuning in, welcome to Lapeef Let's Talk, late night edition. All right, drama therapy with the $5 says, y'all see why I have problems with MLG on King Talk? You don't know how to interpret the DSM-5, bruh. This is Nelson, by the way.
I don't be on King Talk. What the hell is he talking
He a
about?
clinical therapist, and he was expressing his concerns with some of the.
I'm not on King Talk. Is he thinking I'm somebody else or something?
No. He's very specific.
I'm not on King Talk. What are you talking about?
You could ask him to come up if you want to talk to him.
I don't want to talk to him. I don't know who the hell he is.
All right, goddamn it. Let me finish. Y'all crazy. My man, the AP with the $20 says, shout out to the panel. My dog Marcus always on point. Sweeney, you in your bag, brother. Trav looking like an insurance salesman. Still my dog. TM, that's me. The Gender World General. I have renounced that title. I'm not trying to be on that bullshit no more. Good job on controlling the convo. I didn't do a good job. You must have sent this before all the shit went down. All right. My man AP again.
Congratulations,
$10. Yes, I'm trying, bro. Pray for me. MLG still changing tires and eating booty. Still. You three ladies are beautiful. Just damn, Jasmine and Andrea. I fuck with Ali. Can I take you on a coffee date? But don't speak. Just sit there and be pretty. You toxic, bro. You toxic. My man Big Ant with the $10 says, Trigger Mike, are you happy? Not right now. Hink, my man with the $2 says, MLG silly ass is just looking to buy someone tires. Does everybody know you buy tires for these women?
Bro,
So you like that trick?
Put it out
That
there.
everybody
No, I'm not.
You paying
The
rent?
whole, no, Trigger Mike. The saying was, I don't trick on women. The most a woman will get out of me is I'll eat her ass and buy some tires.
Jeez,
and
that's
that is
worse,
it.
nigga.
That was it. And then it turned into a thing. I said the most I would do for a woman, you know, that's what I said. So it turned into
Tires are
those are the only two choices
so
I'm
you
buying.
do that,
tires.
you'll get her some new, you know, Givenchy.
If those are the only two choices, let's
well,
go
no,
to
Ali, the
tires.
thing about it is I'm a man. So if I'm around a woman and her car is unsafe, as a man, I got to make sure you're safe
What
when
about
you're
her feet?
not around
Like,
me.
she needs good, comfortable heels.
No, she doesn't. She needs
but
good tires
he
for she
is,
won't get in a
listen,
car accident.
he is saying something, fellas.
I'm
if
going to take you
wanna-
to the shooting range. I'm going to make
Hey,
sure that you're
fellas,
safe when you're not around me.
Take me to sex.
If you ever want to brush with death, drive a woman's car at 60 miles an hour, bro.
Facts.
Oh my God.
Tires be
Oh
bald.
my God. All the lights in that motherfucker on.
All the lights be on. Yeah.
3 of the nuts on the tire when she tried to change it herself is loose. You're like, what is that? Oh my goodness. Bro.
See, I made sure a woman's car is right when she fucking with me.
Listen, here's the worst part. That you think they're gonna tell you when that happens. They just ignore it.
They ignore
I
it.
would've fixed it.
They literally ignore it.
Damn. All right. AP with the $2 says, nope. We're back to normal. Andrea fumbled the ball. Big Bama 44, $10 says, Sweeney just put a picture of MLG and one of his brothers of the Ninja Turtles on the screen, and just make your point next time he starts interrupting. Salute to Trigger Trev, Marcus, and Jasmine. Hink the basement again. $2. Ali is acting like she had too much Starbucks. Do you drink Starbucks, Ali?
No.
Trigger Mike.
Yo.
Let me just say this. And this is kind of bad, but it's a real thing. I know of a woman that knew she had cancer for a year and didn't go to the doctor. And when she went to the doctor, they turned around and started helping her. She died. That's how crazy it is. They'll see that there's a problem. I'm dead ass serious. They'll see there's a problem and they'll just ignore the shit.
That's the women you
died,
deal with. You deal with women.
No, I don't know her. I just know about her story.
They just praise the male phallic.
Shit is
that
crazy.
they don't know how to take care of themselves and be selfish. Because I go to the doctor.
I was gonna say, I think.
Wait, how did her wanting some dick stop her from getting treatment?
Because she's getting dick, but she's not going to the doctor.
What does getting dick got to do with anything? Women just.
I think you just got that on your brain.
I think we know what's going on.
You ain't never drove no car, heard a noise.
She wouldn't go to the doctor.
Ali, would you like to he was banging her? Making up crazy shit. Ali, have you ever driven a car?
You just
heard a noise and ignored it.
Yes, I did. He said he was hitting that, and that don't make no sense. He was hitting the lady.
We know what's on your mind right now.
I did not have sex with that woman. I didn't even know her. I just knew about her.
All right. So we're gonna get into the next
tragic.
Hold on, Trigger Mike. Before you get to the next topic, I gotta address this. Andrea, you were absolutely right about the Cardi B thing, but you proved my point. Life is about choices and trade-offs. And I'm gonna explain how. You said that yes, if she really wants happiness, she can break that contract. That contract comes with a bunch of consequences that she's gonna have to live with. And it may not make her so happy on the other side. But if she truly values her happiness of, you know what I mean, of having solitude in Ohio, but her company sues her for everything she has, she might not be necessarily happy being broke again. So I wanted to throw that out there.
I don't think what I said to you is that life is about fulfillment. And obviously, if she decides to break the contract, there may be consequences, but ultimately she'll be fulfilled. There are consequences that you say she might have to live with. I think there are consequences that are temporary. And when it's all said and done, she'll be feeling more fulfilled and be happy that she gave all that up because it wasn't making her happy.
Can I ask you a question, Andrea?
Yes.
If you were as rich as Cardi B, right, and you felt like Cardi B, and with the way you think, would you walk away from everything and literally get sued for everything? You'll get sued by all these different companies, not, because you ain't doing no tours. Say you got a tour coming up. You're like, I don't want to do this tour. So you got like 12 different venues that are suing you, your record company suing you, and you walk away, would you walk away from everything just to be happy?
Well, one, I feel personally for me, being rich isn't something that would make me happy. I think most people get misconstrued with how like everything that glitter isn't gold. I think that they think that are things that make them happy, and they don't really do the work to really ask themselves what is fulfilling for themselves. Personally, if it was me and I had all this money and I had all these tours lined up or whatever, if I was not happy, I don't owe anybody anything. If I'm not happy and I feel like this is something that's creating chaos within my life, and I'm not happy when I wake up in the morning, it's not worth it for me. So yes, I would let it go. I would leave it where it's at, because ultimately I'm doing myself a disservice. I'm forcing myself to be a people pleaser, and ultimately that's going to create self-destructiveness for me. I have one life to live. I can't live my life for everybody else.
You don't think being sued by everybody, and this is just speaking specifically to Cardi B, not you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think because we don't know what that feels like. Being sued by everybody that you have done business with might have some negative effects on your happiness,
and
on her happiness,
and you'll get blackballed.
You gotta go to court,
or on her fulfillment.
If you're worried about being blackballed in an industry that doesn't make you happy, I think that you are probably unclear as to what your happiness looks like. I think there are other options. I mean, you could file bankruptcy. There's other options, like as far as suing or looking at the contract with a different type of a lawyer and trying to figure out if you guys can make some type of a settlement. There's different options. Everything doesn't always have to be the worst case scenario. But ultimately, if I'm standing up for myself and I'm standing up for what I feel like, I'm taking control of my life and not allowing other people to control my life and other people's visions of who they think I should be and visions of what they think I should be doing, control my life and decision making, then I'm not going to be happy if I'm doing that. But once I can say for myself, I'm not going to allow you guys to control what my life looks like for me. I'm going to take control of my own destiny and do my own thing. I will be happy doing that because I'm doing it for me and not anybody else.
Right, and I will argue that. I think.
Can I ask you something real quick?
Hold on, let me respond back to Andrea. Let me respond back to Andrea. You can ask the question that you want. Hold on, Ali. After I respond to Andrea, I'll let you ask.
Because y'all are tripping tonight. I can't do it.
I don't mind you asking, but let me respond back to Andrea. We're having a dialogue here. Andrea, and I don't have any problem with what you said. I would argue that I think maybe Cardi B has probably weighed her options. She probably has thought about those things, and she recognized that what the situation that she's in contractually, and we're just talking about her being a musician, not necessarily her personal life, her being a musician, and she probably weighed those options and determined that, hey, the trade-off that I would get by following my happiness, so to speak, is not the trade-off that she wants.
That's all speculation.
I said I would argue. I said that it's absolutely right now. Ali, you cannot interrupt people while they're having a conversation.
She just
chill out.
Ali. This is
Ali. That is disrespectful.
You have been kind of going on.
Right, so both of y'all went and
y'all been going at it, and Deontay.
We're not going at anything.
You got a question?
Yes, I do.
All right, what's your question?
I got to close this one out.
Okay, I want to say this. I am getting tired of sitting on panels with Mr. Sweeney when a woman says her opinion and
Where's your question?
I'm getting
let her finish, Sweeney. Let her finish.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Where's your question for me?
Bro, let her talk.
Go ahead, but you just interrupted our conversation. So I want to know what the question is.
This is not your show. You need to log on to your 100 viewers and do your show.
Fair. What's your question?
Lapeef, and I'm going to say,
Fair, what's your question?
Stop interjecting.
Bro,
Fair,
stop,
what's your
bro.
question?
I want to know, what is the problem with accepting a woman's point of view and her opinion and walking the fuck away? We don't have to go back. I don't want to hear you guys go back and forth.
Is that your question?
I'm not done. You act like a woman sometimes. Just be a man and leave.
You asked me a question. Do you want a grandstand or you want to ask a question?
I'm not done. And it's not for you.
Go ahead.
Because I don't want to hear
Go ahead.
Answer. I
Go
never
ahead.
want to hear you.
Then we can move on if you don't want to hear my answer.
I don't want to ask you. I want to ask everyone.
She actually has a point.
You had a question for me.
Sweeney,
No,
she has, she has a
Andreas,
point.
I got a question for you,
I gotta
Sweeney.
She has
table
a
this one,
point,
y'all.
Sweeney.
So let's table it.
She has a
Let's
point.
table it.
And that's funny how y'all table when I'm speaking, it's table. But I'm gonna go ahead and I wish you all the best. I don't have to.
I'll let you.
Ali,
we'll holler at
don't
you.
go nowhere. Just stay. I got you.
Mr. Sweeney, you whack.
Because you said you had a question for me. You had a question for me. You interrupted. Hold on. Listen, let go. Listen, let go.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you.
She has a point, Sweeney.
Why are you so boring? And why do you always question and try to?
Because I can.
Because
I can.
Asking her why she does
Ali,
it.
do you have a question he can answer? Because they can't go around because I got to get to the main topic.
That's all I'm asking.
Do you got a question or you just wanted to make a statement?
I would like to finish my statement without being interrupted, but I don't have to finish it. I said enough. Mr. Sweeney, stop. If someone says something,
I don't have to do that.
I know.
I don't have to do that.
You gotta let her finish. Say what I want to say then.
She's going to say the same thing she just said 5 seconds ago.
Hold on, let her finish, bro. Let her finish.
Go ahead.
You're just mad because she's talking about you.
Right, and I can respond.
MLG,
Y'all talk shit to me. I
we
shut the
gotta
hell up.
give her the floor.
You're on
She
your
gotta make a
period,
statement.
man. I'm tired of this.
Glorious. Now what? I'm on my
I'm
period.
done.
I've been bleeding all
Sweeney,
month.
when you
What's your
told me
point?
to shut up,
All right.
I shut up.
You
So
didn't.
shut up.
You
Y'all being
didn't.
rude in front of our
Yes,
guests.
I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I
All right.
did.
Ali, you don't have a
man,
question for me? We can move on.
Fellas, let me get into the super chats. My man AP with the $2 says the need to be right is strong with Andrea. Big Ant 11, $10 says, I wish I had Andrea and Ali delusional logic when I joined the Navy. Hell, I could have been Admiral on the first day because I was happy. He trolling y'all. But if you're just tuning in, welcome to Lapeef Let's Talk. We're going to get into the main topic of the evening. May not be the last one because we got other stuff we want to talk about. Welcome to Dee, a.k.a. Deoncia Lauren, a.k.a. Dee on the panel. What's going on?
Hey.
All right, so I'm going to play this video. We're finally getting into the main topic hold on, let me let the marquee roll. In fact, let me just say it. Do men prioritize impressing other men to the detriment of their romantic relationships? Stay tuned for the video. You got it first after.
That, this is my opinion that I don't think all men are 100% vulnerable with their significant other. You could talk about certain things with your bros, you can't talk about, with your old lady.
So are you saying that men will prioritize their friendships with other men because they're afraid of being vulnerable with their partners?
I'm not gonna say they prioritize because, they still are putting their old lady first, but there's certain ways where only a man can understand another man in a way.
I would argue that we see a lot of examples of men, they do prioritize their male friendships over their relationships with women. We were talking about Tom Brady before.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a really good example of that because you have a supermodel for a wife, okay? She done had your kids, and all she asks is that at some point you retire, you come home, and you are a father to these kids and a husband to me. Okay. And he got back home and couldn't even take a few months with his family. He was like, nah, I'm out. And I would argue that Tom Brady prioritizes men clapping for him, men yelling for him while he's playing football over his marriage. Once he was off of the field and he's just like, it's just me, my kids, and my wife, that wasn't enough for him. He really needed other men's validation.
All right.
Shout out to
I'm not
Money.
gonna lie. Personally, the Tom Brady one, that's a bad example. But Dee, you got it first. Do men prioritize impressing other men to the detriment of their romantic relationship?
Some men do. I'm not going to speak in terms of absolutes, but some men do. This can be manifested in a few different ways of calling each other simps for being a provider and a good father. The way that you all shame each other in that, it makes some guys, now he's stingy. Now he wants to do coffee dates and all of this stuff because he's thinking he's going to get used for some shit he ain't got and getting taken advantage of for the nothing that he's offering. Because other guys have shamed him into thinking that courting a woman is simping. So sometimes you guys have missed out on good women because you wouldn't court them properly because you didn't want to look like a simp to your homeboys. Or they've been listening to you guys' gender wars and podcasts where you're telling these guys to run through them, smash and dash, and all the other fuckery. So I'm going to land it right there.
Andrea, you smiling hella hard. I'm gonna save yours, but load your clips for this one. I know you're gonna have something. Trev, what you got on it, bro?
Yeah, I think she was off the mark with that one, particularly with the Tom Brady example. I think he just wasn't finished with his purpose yet, right? And that's what he was passionate about. He only did another year after that anyway. She could have just held on for a little bit. You know what I mean? I think she just jumped the gun with that. You had Tom Brady, and I mean, I understand she's a supermodel and all, but she ain't getting another Tom Brady. Sorry.
You ain't getting no other
And
time. That's what I'm saying.
and you know what? And this is another prime example of how people just don't put the family first. Like you have to understand what that's going to do to the children when now the households are separate. It's a bad look. It's a bad look to me. I don't agree with that at all. And as far as men being influenced, there are some men who just are still trying to find their way, but they might be influenced by other males, right? Because there's a lot of guys out here, like she said, the podcast that makes sense because some of these dudes are giving out some really horrible information, right? It's not the best outcome, no matter what. If you like the longest lasting marriages are when both partners are virgins, so that is true. But a lot, you hear a lot of different sayings out here, like men, you should go ahead and smash like 50 to 100 women first, and that could be detrimental to you as well if you continue to do it, and depending on how you go about your relationship. So I don't think that we have to have some type of discernment sometimes, right? We can't just listen to what other people are saying. You have to kind of, even the people who you are listening to, you still have to vet them. You have to say, is this person doing what I want to do with my life? Are they in a position that I would like to be in the future? Are they successful at what they're teaching, right? Or are they failing like me and then just saying what they think? Or do they know what they're actually talking about? That's a big problem right there. As far as men talking to each other, sometimes we do need another man's opinion, right? Prime example is like King Talk. We talk, we exchange perspectives, and I believe it can be done in a healthy way. We have to be responsible about it. We have to understand that if we are influencing each other, then you can't give out bad information. We need to understand what we're doing. And you have to know, if you are an influential person, with that comes a responsibility. You have to understand the outcome of what you're talking about. And I feel like there are a lot of people who say things that they have no experience in, right? A lot of people who you see out here who tell you how to get women, they have no idea how to get women. You can tell who really do this and who really don't, who never really had an experience until they got the status and the money, and they're just regurgitating talking points. Now, and there's a lot of men who follow them, and it's detrimental to society because we watch it sometimes and we're like, oh, okay, that's the way. Because you see him right now. You see him with these women. You see him with the cars. You see him with the bread. And you're like, oh, yeah, this is what I need to do. But really, that's not how they went about it, right? He put a lot of hard work in his craft. But most of us understand that once you put the work in like that, the women will come. Once you have the material things, you have the cars, you have the money, they're going to look at that and they'll flock to you. Will they want you for you? Probably not. They probably just want you because of what you can provide for them sometimes, right? So that's the difference. You want a sustainable relationship. So it's very difficult for once you get to the finish line to try to go ahead and find a woman, because you really don't know why anybody wants you, right? There's a lot of posers out here. There's people that will be really good to you, but you don't know why. There's always an ulterior motive behind it. So my main thing is just be careful as to who you are listening to. Don't have the wrong people advising you. And it's hard sometimes to understand that, but you just really just need to look at what their lives are, try to get as much background as you can on them. But as far as us influencing each other, look, I talk to some of the guys off the panel sometimes, and we exchange perspectives, whether it's about our work, whether it's about relationships or whatever. And I think that everybody has a good perspective, but you have to know how to take certain things that you feel like will work and certain things that won't. And you have to be careful about how you apply that to your own life, because what works for me may not necessarily work for you. Hello.
So to speak on the Tom Brady thing, I don't agree with his decision to sacrifice his family for one more year of football. But I mean, hey, he was following his fulfillment. He felt fulfilled in sacrificing his family and his wife for one more year of football, one more time at it. And I mean, hell, he came out on the other side of it happy. So it is what it is. I may not agree with it. I don't think that was worth it. But hey, he was just fulfilled.
All right, so you trolling right now.
I feel like you want to like. I don't understand why you want to try to like.
Trolling, but
come on, Andreas, storm me out. Come on now, you ain't gotta take it to heart.
You did say something incorrect. She not happy, bro. She regrets it. Now.
I'll talk about
who regrets it?
Giselle, his ex-wife. She not happy. She's like putting all these little sound bites.
She was not happy.
Nah, she's putting all these sound bites into the tabloids. I would have made different decisions, like that type of. It ain't really that sweet out here type, stuff. So, it's all a mess. But let's get into it. Let's see, Jasmine, you've been quiet for a minute. What are your thoughts on it?
I've been chilling. I wasn't really understanding the topic at first, but only way I can kind of relate to it is if I think about men that's always like with their friends. Like, it's not a problem to be with your friends all the time, but if you just want to be like outside all the time, like you got those single friends that's just always on the scene and always just want to be, around other single women and stuff all the time, then yeah, that can be, a detriment to the relationship. And I've been in that situation before where it's like, okay, I had to leave because I felt it wasn't a priority. He's always going on trips with them and always, just looking like he's single. So I was just like, yeah, it's not gonna work. But then once he realized that, oh, now all his friends in relationships and now he looks stupid and he tried to come back. But that's the only thing I feel like he's just trying to be impressive. Like, oh, I'm still that dude, even though I got a lady at the house. Wasting your time.
I do got a burning question before we move on. Andrea, I'm gonna get to you. I'm sorry, Ali, I'm gonna get to you next. Would you, if you were Tom Brady's wife at the time he did that, would you have left him? All of the ladies. Jasmine, yes or no?
No.
Ali, yes or no?
It depends. Yeah, it depends because I'm not in their relationship. So I'm going to leave a person that's not like benefiting or helping me grow. I think partnerships are for growth. So if you're not growing with me or if I feel like we're going two different paths, I'm leaving you, regardless of whether your career.
All right. Andrea, would you have left Tom Brady for going back for another year of football?
I think I never would have ended up with him in the first place. I think
you wouldn't have ended up with a Tom Brady?
No, I feel like a lot of football players, the way they think, they're very stupid. And I just don't think I would have been. I don't like athletes. I don't like football players. I think the way that they think is just very dumb. And
you know what? I think a lot of the women will agree with you. You like money, though? Do you like money?
I mean, everybody likes money, but that's not going to be my leading cause in marrying him. Because
makes sense.
Money. Like, I don't want to do that. I think that's stupid.
Yeah, I was just saying that because I don't think most of their wives like football, but they love money. Didi, well, I don't call you that. Would you have left Tom Brady for going back for another year of football?
How much do I really like him? Like, he's my husband, and like I've been anticipating all these years of having my husband. How much do it boils down to whether I really, really like this guy.
So y'all also realize that
he might have been promising her.
No, he did. He
did. Nah, he did. And y'all do realize this man was set to retire at 42 or 43. No other man gets to do that. He was going to retire at 43. And she left him. But Ali, we're going to go with you. What are your thoughts?
She got money, so that ain't no big deal to her.
Makes sense too, yeah. She got money.
As it pertains to the topic, I feel like in our community, we have normalized our men playing women and idolizing just rotating women or keeping a bunch of women around them. And a lot of men are doing that because of that, because we idolize that. And if it was the other way around, where we idolize marriage, partnership, combined resources, then our men would be doing that. So y'all set the tone, I think, as you're with your peers. So we're the only group of people that listen to the type of music we listen to all day, every day, being brainwashed, saying fuck that hoe and kill this guy and all this stuff. So yes, that is an influence on our relationships. It's an influence on the younger generation that's trying to build relationships. Where are the examples? The representatives that are actually married and are living in the Black community for our youth. We don't have that. So yeah, it is affecting our romantic relationships. That's why we have podcasts like this where we're always disagreeing with, like Mr. Sweeney. Andrea said this. He just what if the contract said this? And like, why is so stupid? You guys should be building up hospitals, Black-owned hospitals, Black-owned schools. Not
I have a hospital.
Pardon me?
I have a hospital.
Mr. Lego, you interrupted her, bro. Let her go.
I have a hospital. I just want to.
Why are you interrupting, Mr. Lego?
Sweeney, he could do it, not you though. So
no. Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. But I have to. I have to hold him accountable. I have to hold him accountable. You don't get to determine that.
Let's Ali go.
Determine it.
You messed everything up though.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm holding you accountable. How you held me accountable for?
I thought my voice was kind of annoying.
All right, go ahead, Ali.
Go ahead, Ali.
Bro, what is wrong with Sweeney,
baby? You start singing like Mariah. You got to bring it down, baby. You got to slow it down.
I don't have to do anything. I'm going DEFCON 6 on y'all today.
Like this.
I'm going DEFCON 9 on y'all today.
Keep the bass, baby.
I'm going DEFCON 9 on y'all today.
But like
Mr. Lego, you can't be interrupting. Go ahead, Ali. You can continue.
I can do what I want to do. You can't.
Yes, I can, because you couldn't stop me either. Neither one of y'all can stop me.
Cats in the alley.
So I mean, we all can do what we want to do on this TV, on this screen.
Go in here.
We all can do what we want. We can all talk shit. We can all talk shit. We can all sling mud. We can all say what the hell we want to say.
Sweeney, tell the truth. You mad because they love me and hate you?
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind being hated. I'm not here to be loved. I don't need to look. I'm gonna tell you this, Mr. Lego.
All right, back.
I'm gonna be honest. Hold on, Trigger Mike. I gotta get this out real quick.
Why? It was
Mr. Lego.
Look,
listen. I understand. Listen. Mr. Lego. Mr. Lego.
All right, y'all.
You're the one who interrupted her.
Ali, you got to finish up now. Ali, finish up. MLG, shut up. Goddamn it, Sweeney, shut up. All right.
Like I said, if I think that our men need to stop playing into the propaganda and being bamboozled, because they would like us divided. They would like you to apply for a mortgage with just your income because you think you balling at 150,000 when you can have your woman making the same amount and y'all going to the bank with 300K or more. So I'm saying we got to stop all this, and we need our men to be the leaders and delegate. Say, hey, we're going to start partnering with our women because they bear the children. We leave our families for you. We take on your last name and we carry and bear your children for you. At least have the decency to marry us and partner with us and build a community. And that's why you don't do it, because you have normalized creating baby mamas and not partnering for life like y'all were talking about earlier.
Ali, just for the record, Sweeney is married. Trigger Mike is married.
I know who's married.
Marcus is married. And I was married. So I think Trevor, you married too, right?
All of them condone
who on this panel condones bullshit?
Who the hell are you talking about, Ali?
You sit here and you censor Black women when they're speaking. You constantly
what does that have to do with condoning bullshit?
Go back and forth like you're doing.
We can. This is a panel. We can go back and forth. That's the nature of it. You're not being upset when somebody pushing back is not a problem.
You're not supportive of other women besides your wife.
Let me also
how did you gain that? Where did you get that from? Exactly.
The conversation we're having. You've been.
You can't determine it based on the conversation we're having. You can't determine that.
Yes,
You're
I
just
can.
throwing mud, hoping that it sticks.
Your character.
You're just flinging
when
shit at the
people
wall,
speak-
hoping that it sticks.
No, when people speak, they actually you can tell their character from their actions. And
All
the
right,
things they
and
say.
me disagreeing
And
with something
every
doesn't mean
time
I
you
don't.
disagree with
Me
everything a woman
disagreeing.
says.
So what? I disagree with Mr. Lego all the time. Your point? I've also disagreed
Because
with
he
Trev.
agrees with a woman. That's why.
I've also disagreed with Trev. He doesn't agree with women all the time.
And that's and yeah, he does. He agrees with you. He
All right.
agrees with you.
Mr. Let Go, we're gonna get to you. And I just gotta say, Ali, you said 150 stacks going in to get a mortgage. You in pretty good shape. But most people don't make that. Most people together don't make that. So I do agree when you said we need to stack people up. Your grandma that gets Social Security should be on that mortgage application.
Yes, and if you're not married,
Yep.
you should do 2 sisters, a brother and a sister, an aunt and I don't care, because you get better rates. It's just like you get better options. You
No
get to
doubt,
live in
no doubt.
different neighborhoods, and you don't get gentrified.
Well, we also can't skip steps because fixing the family is first and foremost to make that happen.
So Ali cute and she got money? Oh, okay.
Mr. Let Go, you got it. What's your thoughts on the topic, bro?
Do men prioritize impressing other men? Yes. And it's sad, but there's a reason why. Sometimes, and this is men and women, you don't exactly know who to trust the most. You got your homeboy over here who been around, and you don't see him do this, do that. So y'all got a bond. And then you got a girlfriend, not wife, girlfriend, and your homeboy is like, yo, you a simp, you doing this, you doing too much, she running over you or whatever, you feel me? And you trust the person that's been around for the longest because there's a possibility that she is running over you, because sometimes the person on the outside looking in can see things better than you. So in that particular situation, I wouldn't say he's impressing his homeboy. He's just listening to his homeboy because he can see something that you can't. But when it comes to the guys that try to impress other men by shitting on women, now that is something that actually goes on YouTube all the time. All these 304s and is gay. Is literally gay. So it's a difference. I'm gonna heed my homeboy's warning because he knows me, I know him, and so I'm gonna listen, but it's not going to be me trying to impress him. But the niggas who be impressing dudes, they gay.
This is a bizarre world we live in. This is the same Negro that sit on a panel and call women children every goddamn day. What are we talking about?
What I got to do with that? Women not children.
Because you're accusing a bunch of men, calling them gay over some shit that you literally do every single day.
He's a complex individual.
Wait,
no, I don't need. Listen.
So Sweeney,
And
hold on,
what kills
me
me
and Sweeney had this conversation.
And what kills me about this is that we're sitting on this panel. You got 4 men on this panel that are the exact example of the things that y'all say men should be doing, and yet we have other people, and yet I'm on the panel, but I think I've done exactly what I'm supposed to do in life.
Baby, you was
Ali, stop.
Sure, fair. I may be lost. Fair. Not in my life, but you may think I'm lost. However, where's your example? Hold on, wait. Because I was making a point, Mr. Lake. I wasn't really trying to go at you like that. I was just saying that we can't be sitting over here saying that men out here talking shit about women to impress other people. Meanwhile, on a panel talking shit about women from time to time.
Not to impress other people, though.
I don't think. But how could you make that assumption? But then how can you make that assumption if nobody can make that assumption about you? Because we can assume that you're doing it to impress other people. You don't know that.
Wait, let me answer that.
Go ahead.
I've said it is my belief system. So I've said it millions of times everywhere I go. Women are children. I don't say that to impress nobody. So do y'all think I say that to impress somebody, or do y'all think
I'm not saying that. My point is that how can you say you assume that they're doing it to impress somebody and then say you can't make the same assumption about me when I do it? You don't know why they're doing it. It may be their belief system.
Well, they don't have belief systems.
How are you going to make that claim? You don't know that.
It's because they're gay. They're
and now we're calling. So now we're shaming. Now we're shaming. Now you're
Use another
shaming.
word, MLG.
Now you're shaming these men for their belief system, and then you're calling them gay for it. That's
Sweetie,
not. Hold on, Ali. We're having a talk. Stop interrupting.
I can
Mute
do
it up.
that. Yes, I can.
All right.
And Sweeney, are you jealous of that Ali likes me? Or
No. What reason would I have to? No.
Is there a problem?
I just have a
Sweeney?
problem. I just have a problem with y'all being hypocritical. That's my only problem.
Well, me and Ali, we're being
with you being hypocritical as well as Ali, because the reality is that you just sat here and you tried to hold me accountable and say stop interrupting. Then you like to throw your jabs in and interrupt people while they're talking. I don't have a problem with people interrupting. I understand it's the nature of the show.
Interrupt the argument.
No. Wait, listen. Listen, Ali, we're having a dialogue. I have no problem. I have no problem with people interrupting. I understand it's the nature of the show. That's what we do. However, I do have a problem with people being hypocritical. If you're going to tell me to be quiet and not interrupt, and then at the same time start interrupting people, I think it's fair for me to say, hey, Mr. Let Go. Hey, she's talking. Why are you interrupting her? Now you can y'all can hold on, wait. Y'all can have your own thing where she said, "Oh, he can do it, but you can't." That ain't gonna stop me from calling it out.
Like a kid, we can't.
I think you mad.
Fair enough. I'm a kid. Fair enough. I'm a kid.
Yeah, you. I can interrupt. You can't. Come on,
Let's
man.
get Andrea's
That's not
take
the
on
point.
it. She look like she's about to fall asleep over there. All right, Andrea, do men prioritize impressing other men to the detriment of their romantic relationships?
Yeah, I think sometimes that can be the case. I feel like, granted, I recognize that sometimes, most people want to be accepted by their peers. I think it really just like falls down to what we tend to glorify as a community of people, and then society in general. Like we glorify negative things and negative stereotypes, and the way that we view women in general. I think it has a lot to do with misogyny as opposed to like race. I think it's more of just how we view women in general. I feel like we perceive things negatively, and it's kind of like just a circle. It's like just like a circle. So I mean, I feel like unless you have like parents that are really like teaching you how to like stand on your own opinion and not to succumb to peer pressure and succumb to groupthink, I think it has a lot to do with building up like self-esteem in your kids and self-confidence within your kids so that people can make decisions to stand on their own opinions. But I think that men and women are guilty of it, but I definitely feel like men, it does affect their romantic side of relationships because they want to be validated by other men.
All right, bet.
Andrea, do you think that men actually hate women in general?
You know what? I've been waiting for somebody to ask me this question for a very long time.
Oh, she ready. Yo.
I feel like I'm gonna be honest, I feel like men hate femininity. Like I feel like they say that that's what they want, but when they attain it, something about femininity creates bitterness and hatred and some type of resentment or some type like a need to almost dominate it or control it. Like when they get something like, because I'm going to be honest with you, and this is just my personal opinion, I feel like the most beautiful girls go through the most bullshit with niggas. I don't know what it is about women who are dainty or soft or petite or just overall just feminine that men just feel the urge to destroy. So that's my personal opinion about it. I feel like they hate femininity so much that they seek to destroy it whenever opportunity they get a chance. Granted,
She's not chime in on that one after Jasmine.
I was gonna say before we go down this rabbit hole.
You agree, Jasmine?
Yeah, we let her go down.
I can kind of see where she's right though, because it seems like when you're your softest and you're really feminine and you're like really pretty, sometimes guys tend to run over you and stuff, or they'll tend to like take more advantage because they feel like they can get over it. Versus when they get someone that's like already hard and masculine like that, they're like, I guess this is more of a toxic fighting situation. So then these soft women, they tend to, like she said, attack their femininity. So you
can I answer why this is happening?
But not all men.
No,
I get it. Can I answer why this is happening without attacking y'all?
Who else wants to say something on it?
Beyonce wanted to go.
Who did?
Where she got
Well, the thing is,
hold on. What did you say, Trigger Mike? Can I answer that for her?
Go ahead.
No.
All right, let the ladies get their piece in, and you can jump in real.
Okay.
Didi, go ahead.
I definitely can see her point, and I definitely concur. The same. I do see that. Yes, it gives somebody some. Sometimes men want for power and the need to conquer will give room for that type of abuse. Everybody is not fit for leadership. Not all men are fit for leadership. And sometimes that type of softness is makes you prime suspect and prey for predators. So certain men, they know who they can try certain stuff with and who they can't. And they even proved that with this study when they were looking at, they had some rapists looking at women's pictures and women's videos of them walking. And they talked about who they would attack and who they wouldn't. And the women they would attack were women that usually had already been abused before.
You said
Something about if they
feminine, but
haven't
now
looked
they've been abused before. Is that the same thing in your opinion? What do you mean?
probably.
So women that
I
are
think it's a
feminine have been
high
abused before?
correlation between it. Excuse me?
So you saying feminine women have been abused before? What? I'm
I feel
confused.
like feminine women are more at risk for being abused.
You said feminine women have been abused before.
Let's get all the ladies' perspectives.
No, that's
Ali,
not
you
what
got
I
a
said.
perspective
I
on
said
this? I
you're
want to get
Yeah,
all
I
the
do.
ladies.
I do want to get. I'm
All
sorry,
right,
Gigi,
go
were you
ahead.
done? I didn't
Yeah.
want to interrupt you.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I feel like
MLG, you got it after.
you have two types of men in the Black community, because I'm speaking on Black men specifically, the majority, that I see on the news or going through whatever. We have two different types. That if you were raised by a single mother who had 2 and 3 jobs and had to struggle, and that's your mother, you either going to become one or two men. You're going to be the man that says, I will never have my woman have to do that because I saw my mother struggle and I saw her have to go through that. And I'm never going to put my woman through that. Or you have the man that says, look at this feminine woman. She likes the finer things in life, but my mother didn't have it. So why can't you go out here and struggle? Why can't you go out here and get a second and third job? So a lot of times our men have animosity towards us because of the things they saw their mother go through. They saw their mother raise the whole community and have 10 kids in the house. So now when they see my soft life, they're like, and they don't think they're supposed to contribute to it because their mother got it on their own. Their mother was independent. Their mother didn't have a man in the house that helped them. So why would I? But I don't have this type of man in my life. I'm just saying it happens in our community.
Her life.
Sweeney, damn, you are so you act like you need to.
She don't have these type of men in her life.
I don't.
You just said that you just dealt with these men and they looked at you.
Let her finish.
I'm gonna say this. I
Go
don't.
ahead. Go ahead. Start capping again.
No. Marcus is gonna be after Ali. Mr.
Okay.
Let go, get your piece in there.
I'm gonna end it like this, Sweeney. You must have some type of animosity towards me, but it's really.
I might. I'm gonna explain later. I'll let you know.
All right, so
you can do it on your own time. Wait, Mr. Let go.
No, I'm gonna do it right here on the panel after Mr. Let go.
No, you don't have to tell me nothing. Keep me out.
Like
this. I don't allow.
I'm gonna mute up.
Yes, please.
But I'm gonna let you know later on.
I'm not gonna be here to listen, but
that's okay.
But like I said, if you've been raised by a single mother and you saw her struggle, you can make two options. Either you're gonna let your woman do the same thing and struggle and get it by herself, or you're gonna say, hey, I don't want her to have to do that. You're gonna help out her life. So I think there is some animosity when it comes to that, because in other cultures, which I am a mixed person, I in other cultures, I don't see that. I see the woman being praised for being feminine and, being protected for being feminine and, given the nanny, given the push gift and given the, everything like, oh, baby, you need this, you need that. But in our community, we call that simping. So
let me answer all of y'all's question, because I've seen it a million times. And this ain't blaming y'all and this ain't blaming men. You attract who you actually are, or you attract your own type of trauma. Okay. So, because I'm not saying you ladies are abusive, but you attract. So you got to look at it like this: the guy is usually the avoidant attachment style, and the woman is usually the anxious attachment style. And every time he does this, you do this. And every time he does this, you do this. And this back and forth is kind of like what makes both of y'all feel attracted to each other. So sometimes the abusive dude makes you feel like, I already knew I wasn't shit, or I knew I wasn't worthy of love. I knew I was like this because look at how he's showing me what I already thought of myself. So it's a form of confirmation bias. Just like Marcus said earlier, a lot of women don't love themselves. So if you don't think you're worthy of love, if you don't love yourself, you are only going to attract a man that don't like women, because he's confirming what you already are thinking. Like if somebody told me that, I don't know, is somebody's on my street shooting, the second I hear a noise, I'm going to just assume that's somebody shooting. So when you think something, you actually manifest it. So when you don't love yourself, you're going to find or attract or entertain a man that doesn't like women because you don't like women yourself.
All right. So
can I talk about that point? I kind of
disagree with you on that. One, then we're gonna get to Marcus after.
Sure. When you're an attractive person, you attract all
entertain who you entertain.
Yeah, who you entertain. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Who you bring into your life,
all kind of people, and that doesn't necessarily reflect on you, but who you entertain does.
Right.
But that's it. Go ahead.
All right, Marcus.
Okay, so do men prioritize impressing other men to the detriment of their romantic relationship? So I had a call with one of my friends that's a coach at a major D1 school earlier. And I'm also friends with the head coach from another institution that we playing soon. And we all kind of have a similar ideology. And I was discussing what goes on the podcast, and he just couldn't believe what I was saying, right? He's like, no, it's no way that people are out here thinking this way. I'm like, no, it's a sect that believes this. So I'm not gonna say this is all men that do this, but if we were specifically to speak into the sector right now, absolutely, 100%. Like past 100%, 1 million billion gajillion %. Like you have men that'll be attracted to a woman and won't say nothing to her because they're afraid that other men gonna call him a simp. You got men who will agree with a woman's argument, start agreeing, and then when the men say you simping, you pandering, and they be like, no, man, who give a fuck what these niggas think? Like, man, Joe, if you a man, stand on your own. They can think what they gonna think, you can think what you gonna think. If you can form in your idea specifically because you want to appeal to the woman, that's one thing. If you genuinely believe it, that's a complete other thing. And in this space specifically, it gets contorted. So anything that's not 100% pro extreme to the left or pro extreme to the right, and the women and the men do this in this specific sector, where as long as it's pro woman, I got to be on this side. As long as it's pro man, I got to be on this side. When the truth is, I'm sure that most people have a nuanced perspective and they see the right and wrong in a majority of the arguments, unless you severely have some type of bias that affects your general perspective and outlook on the world. Outside of that, most of this stuff, it's not that far of a decimal move to the other side. A lot of this is posturing. I don't know why we would be posturing with women. It blows my fucking mind, but hey, it happens. When I was talking to my homie, he has a similar relationship to me. Beautiful wife, 2 beautiful kids. Shout out to fam if y'all listening right now. And the other one, I think he had what's so good. He got 3 kids, beautiful wife, and these are all leaders of men, leaders of teams, leaders of industry, right? And when they talk about their wife, they exalt their wife, they exalt their family, they take responsibility to a whole nother level. They do the things that exemplify the best of us, not the worst of us. And when I explained it to them, they just couldn't believe me. They was like, nah, that's not really happening. I sent them the link so that they could see, but we didn't do it tonight. But it occurs though. It occurs in mass, and that's an issue. Any man that calls himself a man in the traditional sense that I'm speaking from will not feel okay with that. It feels, I don't know, it just feels out of place to me. But that's my specific understanding. So that's not to say that anyone isn't a man. That's just to say, from my specific understanding, it feels out of place. So do men prioritize impressing other men? Yes. Absolutely in this space. Absolutely.
So what you're saying, Marcus, is that if I got a thing for girls with that big ass fupa, that ass in the front, but my homies are laughing at me saying I like big girls, I need to say fuck what y'all talking about, and I need to go tongue kiss her in front of all them niggas. Is that what you're saying?
No, you need to go get
like
some
big
therapy.
girls. No. If you like big girls and you see somebody over there and you were embarrassed to your friends, you need to say fuck them and go do what's best for you.
That's
like
what I'm talking
at the end of the day, you shouldn't be moving for what another man eyes, another man dick, another man pocket shouldn't affect how your dick, your eyes, and your pocket move. We gotta stop it, bro. Men are supposed to be individuals. We're not supposed to subscribe to groupthink. That's the thing we put women in the category of. All the men think this, so this is what I'm gonna think. If you think it, that's one thing. But if you're co-signing just so you could be in line with the other men, bro, you have deeper problems than this YouTube shit. Because I guarantee you it translates past YouTube.
That's what
Let me say this.
Hold on,
get that big girl.
Hold on, Mr. Lego.
Yeah, I know y'all want that big girl.
This is the problem. This is the reason why I asked the question earlier in the show. Do we feel like we're an accurate representation of those outside of us, in the real world? And what we literally just proved is that no, on these panels, in this show, we are not.
The fuck do you?
No, because we all make sweeping statements. Everybody just made sweeping statements. Everybody just made sweeping statements about men on this panel that's just not true for most men. But we had them. We're categorizing men in this category of predators, egotistical, don't have their own minds.
No one used those words.
I said
I don't think he's attacking anybody.
I never
think
speak in terms of absolutes.
Hold on, y'all. I don't
Oh.
think he's attacking anybody. I think he's checkmating the show. Like he's saying, he said this in the beginning, and it's kind of coming out to be true.
It's coming out through the panel.
But
we are not.
What
We are
is
not.
coming
As
out
a
in the
matter of
panel?
fact, that we are not an accurate representation of
We
people
never
in real
said
life.
Let him make the point.
Ali,
But we said that though. No.
if you let me finish the thought, you will
let him make
understand
the
it. You
point.
gotta let it marinate. Come on now.
Let him finish.
Because we come on these panels and we make sweeping statements about men in general, about women in general. And then once you start asking questions 3 layers deep, it's never you. It's never you, but you know all about what they're going through. It's never you. Oh, I know that most men act like this. Okay, how would you know that? So you've been through that? No, it wasn't me. But I have a story. I got a story to tell, but it's never you. So how can you make sweeping
like the average person?
Well, the thing is, I don't even think, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think any of y'all actually have real conversations with the average people. Because and you know what? I'm gonna speak specifically because I did tell Ali I was going to tell her my problem with her. My problem is that you make generalizing sweeping statements about men and you don't know us. You don't know us.
I don't have to know.
The thing is that because you said something that was really interesting. You said men are intimidated by our femininity and they got to try to beat you down and stuff like that. And then right when you was about to say it was you, then you was like, "Oh, it doesn't happen to me." So how would you know that? How do you know that men in general
associate Sweeney is a part of their?
And then the problem with that is that on the balance of probability, if that's the case for men, then women have to be doing the same thing because we're not that different.
Let me interject real quick. Because this is helpful. Women disassociate themselves from everything negative. Okay, no matter what it is, it could be a fat girl. She ain't fat. They fat. All right. It's just what women do. All right. That's something that you have to understand. And that is one of the small reasons why I say women are children, because they get away with doing dumb shit like that, but we can't because we're men. Does that make sense?
The thing is, how do you?
Hold on, y'all.
He addressed
Hold
it
on.
to me.
Wait.
Sweeney, it's not your turn. You just talk, Mr. Lego go, and then someone else got to talk. You can't just control the whole show.
Well, I'm not controlling the show. Everybody got their chance to speak on the topic, so let me finish.
I never got to respond. You just attacked
let her
me.
respond,
No,
bro.
you asked me. You told me.
Respond.
Can we seriously take a chill pill? Because Mr. Lego, you asked me to interject, right?
I need to respond.
Did you not ask me to interject?
Yes, I did.
All right, so you interjected my point, my statement.
Let Sweeney finish, and then I'm gonna do what we.
No, I'm willing. Now the thing is that I'm willing to let you respond, Ali.
Hold on, Andrea, stay for a second.
Let me
stay.
You know he didn't mean it like that, Ali.
Ali, you know damn well that's not what
let it go. We can go to the next thing.
Go ahead.
All I gotta say is I take accountability. I have met terrible men, but I've also been raised by a great man who married my mother, who's never yelled at me, who's never beat me, who's actually protected me from my mother when she wanted to beat me, who's like, come here, so I don't identify with toxic men. If I met a toxic man, which I'm sure everyone knows one and has met one, and I'm not going to make myself holier than thou and say, but I don't date them. I've never dated them and was bamboozled and said, oh, the penis is so good, I'm going to ignore this, that, and then emotional neglect and the emotional abuse. I'm not going to ignore that. So are you going to say I'm anonymously, whatever it is? Yeah, I am. So yeah, I don't have to identify with the struggle of the Black woman personally to talk on it. I had to do my research. I'm not that far removed from Sweeney. Mute yourself. I'm not done.
I haven't said anything, Ali. Go ahead. I have not interrupted you. Go ahead.
The feedback.
You're good. I didn't do that.
Mute yourself. So as I was saying, if I research these issues in my Black community that are impacting both Black men and both Black women, I don't have to personally went through a domestic violence or abuse situation. I don't have to have been assaulted. I have educated myself. So we have to stop with the, oh, you must have went through, or who hurt you type shit. Because when you see your brother get gunned down on the news, you're out there marching and it didn't affect you like that, but it's still emotionally, you identify with that because that was your peer. So
and that's what I hate.
I think there's a difference between identifying when there's when there's issues going on and making generalizing sweeping statements about a particular group. I think that is it. Hold on, Mr. Lego. Yeah. Hold on, wait. No. I think that's the difference. If we were to just sit here and have an honest conversation and say, hey, look, I get that hey, look, some men are out here doing XYZ. Let's talk about it. And we could talk about it without saying all men are either one or two things. Either they love their mama or they hate their mama, or either they do this or they do. These conversations have to be far more nuanced when we're talking about human beings here.
Sweeney, my issue with you and what you're saying is, why do you allow it to get to you? And that is kind of like what we all have been saying. And I'm not saying you, but a lot of these dudes on YouTube, they do that. They get, just like earlier, right? The ladies literally said, and you're the first person that unmuted. The ladies literally said, no, these men be beating the hell out of women and all this other shit, right? You're the first person that says, no, that's not true. And that is one of the issues. So we turn around and dismiss women.
Allow me to correct you real quick.
Allow me
to correct you.
Can I finish?
Allow me to correct you real quick.
No, let him.
Because you accuse me of something. I want to correct you.
I just want to finish.
Go ahead and I'll correct you.
So the thing about it is, we spend so much time dismissing other people's experiences because we have a total different experience, what you're accusing Ali of, but you be doing the same shit, but you do it in a question form. So, Andrea, if you ain't never did this, how you know that? So you don't accuse nobody, you ask a accusatory question. And that's what Ali was saying that you do all the time.
Okay,
You
Mr.
just do it
Lego.
in the
Let go to
Mr. Lego.
I disagree.
Hold on, let me correct Mr. Lego on something. First of all, I didn't jump in when Andre and Ali was speaking to that. I jumped in when you said over 50% of men are out here beating on their women. That's when I interrupted and said,
half.
that's 50%.
That's 50%.
And I looked at it.
I'm not just
Hold on, y'all. There's a bigger problem than that. There's a bigger problem than that. Like what Sweetie's referring to, right? We had every woman on the panel pretty much characterized men as a predator just now. They said that predators are pretty much attracted to femininity. Every woman agreed to that just now.
Every last one of them.
That just happened. Every single woman on the panel said that.
Hold up. You're not gonna put words in nobody's mouth. We said that some men hate femininity, and we gave
nobody said some ever.
Yes, we
Not
did.
one word said was never mentioned.
I literally said some men, and I
Okay,
don't
no.
say all men.
I'm talking about Ali. She never said some.
I said not all men. Yes, and I said there's two options. There's a man that's raised.
Ali never said some. That's a lie.
I
You never said
there's
some.
two-
You said
never
men are
listened.
attracted
The
to.
problem is, Trev, you all don't listen to
All right, so
understand.
here's
You
what we're
listen
gonna do.
to
Here's what we're
debate.
gonna do.
Hold
Okay,
up.
stop, Ali, stop.
Because we gotta get the other half of it. So what I want to do is I want to unpack that from the men's side. That's why we let all the women go first. So Trev, you're gonna go first. Obviously, you think that is not true.
Something I wanted to say.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm gonna let him.
I wanted to clarify so when he speaks his
Ali,
knows
just
what I'm
understand
saying.
this. We're back on the conversation that we were about to leave
Yeah,
the
so
show
let's-
for. So this is
let
your
him make an
opportunity.
intelligent,
So calm down.
Rebuttal. So
I
he's gonna
am
let you
calm.
know with his words why he does not agree with that statement.
But he
Trev,
didn't
just
even.
made.
I didn't say.
Stop, Ali. Trev.
This is the thing, y'all. But this is the thing. He attributed.
The thing is,
He
he's putting
attributed my
words in
statement
women's
to Ali.
mouths, and that's
All right,
toxic.
hold on, ladies.
What the fuck?
That's toxic.
I'm the one who made that point, not Ali.
Exactly.
Okay, we're trying to move on.
All right, listen.
Now I feel like
said
triggered.
no.
I'm gonna
I
go.
feel like I took a mic belt.
Yeah.
I
This
want
is
y'all
what
to
I'm
think about
saying.
it. We're trying to move
Every
on
woman-
from the thing that we dismissed.
All right, go ahead, Trev.
Hold on, let Trev speak. You're gonna be muted if you could talk over.
All right. So what I was saying is that men are being characterized as predators, right? When we were saying, okay, femininity attracts these men and they want to abuse them if they're feminine. That's what was said. That's the message that everybody got from it.
said
If
hate,
you're looking at the comments, that's
Leave
what
it
not
alone.
abuse.
Just let them talk.
and that's different too. That's not good either. We don't hate women when they're feminine. When we see a feminine woman, we want to pour into them. We want to protect them. We're not trying to get you because you are feminine.
with what you're saying,
And we're saying, and you know what? And hold on.
You're
Nobody
again,
in my
bro.
circle. Which man on the panel has those type of men in their immediate circle that are actually predators that want to hang around?
Ladies, be quiet for a second. Trev, can I say something? I want to ask you a question. Okay, earlier, Sweeney asked a great question and said, how many of us represent in our own lives the typical person? Most of us said we don't. That's the first thing, right? So your question is null and void because we on this panel do not represent the average person.
I do.
Whether it's the woman beaters or whether it's the dudes who can't get pussy or whatever, right?
So, Mr. Lecco, you were really trying to say that?
Huh?
Mr. Lecco, you really trying to say that most men are predators in such a way that we are attracted to femininity just to abuse it? That's your stance right now.
I can answer the question.
Yes.
People.
No one said that.
Hold on. People, not men, not women. People, just individuals. They see a weak dude, oh, I'm gonna get his ass. A dude see a weak woman, I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna get his ass. It's the same shit. People.
Oh, that's not true.
People. No, I'm just saying. As a
let me-
robber or as a
let me
manipulator.
Hold on, y'all. Let me do something real quick. Hold on.
Identify as a woman and tell us what we go
Hold
through.
on. Let me.
That's what I'm saying.
You're telling women what they go through.
Right. That
Let me
shit
see
is
if I can
crazy.
clarify a statement.
Well,
that was
guess
made
what?
earlier.
I know
let me
many
see if I
women
can
too.
clarify.
I know many women,
you're
and they
not
are
a
not
woman, though,
victims
bro.
of
You're a
abuse.
woman and you've
You can't
never
tell a
lived
woman.
as a
You can't
Who
tell
said
me
I
that
was a
all
woman?
men are
Who
criminals
said I was a
and
woman?
predators.
No one
You can't
said
tell me that
I'm
men
a
are
man, and I
predators
know I'm not a predator.
Hold on, y'all.
Why
Hold
are
on,
y'all
y'all.
so
Hold on.
triggered by that shit?
because I don't like that shit.
Because it's misinformation.
You're lying on men.
Hold up, y'all.
Listen,
Hold
when
up,
we're talking about men who hate
MLG,
women,
y'all.
when we are talking about men who hate and disrespect women, you all seem that it is directed towards you, and you need to be the representative to speak up for toxic men, and that is toxic. You need to be supportive of the women who are expressing to you, we are tired of toxic men, and do something.
Then stop dealing with them. Then stop dealing with them. Stop dealing with them.
I'll respond to that.
So you want us to ignore? So you want us to ignore? So you can continue to ignore?
How about you stop dealing with toxic men?
Don't want
What are you
It's
doing?
that simple.
I
It's
can't
not
let
that
y'all yell at
simple.
each other. I can't let y'all yell at each other. Let me bring order back to the pen. I can't let y'all yell at each other like this. Trev, you gonna please finish up your statement, and then we'll continue from there.
All right, cool. So, of course, I'm not going to take this personal because there's really nobody who could tell me that I'm a predator. And even if somebody did say it, it wouldn't matter. It's not personal to me. I'm talking about it's a mischaracterization of men in general, right? That's what I'm saying. It's a mischaracterization. You're saying that men are attracted to femininity so they can abuse it, and it's wrong. And you shouldn't say it. It's irresponsible for you to say that. And that's what you said. And when anybody backs this up, when anyone backs this up, that's what was said. That's exactly the message that you gave. Sweeney heard it. I heard it.
Are you doing a not
I don't
all
know who
women
was
thing, though, Trev?
Trigger Mike heard it.
Are you doing
Say
an all
again?
women thing? Not all women. You know how any of us say something about women, and they're gonna be like, not all women.
All right.
I never say.
MLG. Hold on, y'all. Real quick.
I don't get to make a statement.
Hold on, y'all. Peep game. Well, y'all got to check this out. Because nobody is listening. Earlier, MLG asked me if I could give space because of how the women interpreted something that I said. And you said that's how it made you feel. The men are now telling you how we interpreted something that you said. And y'all are dismissing the way that it made us.
They're putting words in our mouth, and we're trying to say, "Hey, I didn't say that. I never said all men." And instead of listening to us and giving us some type of grace and saying, "Hey, maybe you didn't say that," you're actually trying to rewind the tape and find so you can.
I already found it. I already found it.
Hold on,
Ali.
Hold on, Ali. Continue this gender war.
I already found it.
Ali, let me help you. Ali, let me help you.
Your agenda. Your agenda is to put words in black women's mouth and make us look bad.
Ali, stop for a second. Trigger Mike. This is actually the opposite of what you just said. They are experiencing men a certain way, regardless of what you want to say. And all y'all want to do is say, not all men do that. You're dismissing that shit. Just like if I say most black women are fat and y'all ain't fat. Y'all shut the hell up if y'all ain't fat. But if y'all say, not all women,
why? Because it's not true.
Dismissing the actual fact.
Nobody will let you get away with saying that goofy shit on this
When
channel.
he said that women are childish, we didn't say anything because
They don't say nothing.
That's already been said half a dozen times.
But they don't say nothing.
Half a dozen times said
They
women are
don't
not
get
good.
triggered by it, bro.
Yes, they have. What are you talking about?
All right, let me read
Women are not triggered by you saying that stupid
Let me read the
ass
super chat.
Real quick, Trigger Mike. Real quick, Trigger Mike.
Yeah.
Won't you
Mark,
give them each a minute? Won't you give them each a minute in the side by side screen so that they can speak what they have to say uninterrupted, and then let the other person
that's
speak
actually next, bro.
uninterrupted?
That's actually
that'd be dope. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
That's actually next. So, let me get these super chats. We're gonna do that. The AP accountability partner, $2. Andrea, why do you say football players are stupid?
Not all football players.
$10. Ali, even roaches have kids, but I don't want to partner with them either. Congo English with the $5. Great discussion, reveals character across the spectrum. Congo English, $5. Sweeney, thank you, brother. My man Quincy with the $10. Blessings. Trigger Mike, thank you for that. All right, so that's a good idea, Marcus. I was going to do
one
something.
caveat, and if you interrupt that person while they speaking, their time is extended 30 seconds.
Oh, damn, that's dope. I think Ham does that. You said side screen.
Gonna say some shit.
I just would like to clarify what I said.
All right, hold on. We're gonna start with you then. We're gonna start with you. Shit, I don't even know how to do the what you call it.
Andrea and Sweeney. Put Andrea and Sweeney in the
Next to Sweeney.
Oh
no!
I have to say because I'm going to get
Like what?
Oh damn, we don't have 10 people.
Don't
Go ahead,
side by side.
Andrea. You got it. I can't even put Sweeney there. Go ahead.
All right, you got a minute.
Let her
You
talk.
got a minute.
The question that was asked was, do I feel like men hate women? What I specifically said was that I feel like men hate femininity. Okay? I don't know where everybody is bringing this predator from, where everybody's just snatching and saying, oh, they love to abuse and blah, blah. What I said is that I feel like men hate femininity. I feel like when they get a soft, petite person that's very much feminine in some retrospect, they become very destructive to it. It seems like they have a bitterness for it, like they have some type of resentment or some type of anger for it. Okay, I never said that they're beating and abusing everyone, although that can be the case when it comes to domestic violence, which we were talking about earlier, that everyone refused to fucking see. Okay, I said that they have some type of bitterness for it, and you guys are showing it all fucking night because you refuse to let any of us finish a statement. You dismissed us earlier, and you guys are still sitting here not understanding the point because you just want to listen to rebuttal instead of listen to actually hear what I'm saying and just respond. You guys, it's like you guys want to just listen for the sake of just fighting, and it's irritating. Like Sweeney, you asked this stupid ass, dumb ass, pointless ass question in the very beginning of the fucking segment, a question that you intended to bring circle around at the end of it to try to prove some stupid ass, dumb ass point that you decided you wanted to create. And I'm just kind of over it at this point. Like all y'all want to do is fight. It's like y'all not using your listening skills. You're literally looking for every type of word that it's crazy, and I honestly feel like I'm not going to get any type of understanding here tonight because y'all are just listening for the sake of making a point and validating our experiences just to prove that you're right about something that is not even really a right or wrong. It's just fucking facts and the truth.
I agree with you.
Okay. All right, Sweeney for a minute and a minute and 40 seconds. I started mine later, so a minute.
I
and 40.
agree with you, Andrea.
Let me restart it. Oh, let me restart it. All right. Tell me when to start.
You can go ahead. My problem isn't when we want to talk about the issues that women face. My problem, and this is why I always interrupt, is when we make sweeping, generalizing statements about people in general, and it's not true. For example,
somebody to ask me this question for a very long time.
Oh, she ready. Yo.
I feel like I'm gonna be honest, I feel like men hate femininity. Like I feel like they say that that's what they want, but when they attain it, something about femininity creates bitterness and hatred and some type of resentment or some type like a need to almost dominate it or control it. Like when they get something like, because I'm going to be honest with you, and this is just my personal opinion, I feel like the most beautiful girls go through the most bullshit with niggas. I don't know what it is about women who are dainty or soft or petite or just overall just feminine that men just feel the urge to destroy. So that's my personal opinion about it. I feel like they hate femininity so much that they seek to destroy it whenever opportunity they get it.
So when we make generalizing statements about how men seek to destroy women who are feminine, that's where I draw the line. That's where I normally have a problem. I don't have a problem with discussing the issues that women go through. But we're not going to sit on this panel and make generalizing statements about people. Just like I call Mr. Leggo out every single time he called women children. I'll rest there.
All right, let me go next.
And then I want to go.
Tell me when to
I'm
start.
gonna give y'all the solo.
Tell me when to start.
All right. The problem with Sweeney and other guys is that y'all get triggered just like these women. And it's kind of strange. All right. Like I live in Atlanta, right? People love to say, y'all niggas in Atlanta gay. I never turn around. Well, I'm not gay. Well, this percentage of I don't say shit. You know why? Because I'm not gay. Like it's stupid to actually start arguing with somebody and you're not that person. So when a woman or anybody else makes a sweeping statement, it's not disrespectful. You are disrespected. And that's the actual problem. You got to pay attention to why somebody talking about other people is hurting you so goddamn badly. And too many of you dudes on YouTube do this shit, and it's always to women. Because men can make a sweeping statement about women all they want to, but when a woman says some shit, y'all get all crazy, and it's weird. So when a woman says something about men, it is important for us to hear them, because at the end of the day, throughout their entire lives, they get shut down and feel unheard by everybody. So when we're on a panel and we're supposed to be somewhat cool, let that person speak and just let them have their own reality and be there for them instead of arguing with them. Well, the statistics say, shut the fuck up.
Okay. Can I get a minute too?
No.
What? Let him go.
She wasn't talking to me.
Damn, Marcus, what you do to her?
I
I
don't
thought
know.
that was Sweeney.
No, so you can start it for me. So the thing is, right? We got to understand. So when I talk about relationships and setting boundaries, right? When you create scenarios where you're trying to get, when you're hurt by something, you're trying to get the other person to feel the anger you have and radiate it out, is when we usually resort to name calling. And once we start at that point, it becomes unproductive. You have to always try, if you're actually trying to seek to be heard, to the words that are confusing to you, table them and then ask that person to clarify so you can get greater understanding. Because the odds are maybe they weren't trying to offend you. Maybe they weren't trying to create more confusion and chaos. Maybe they just misspoke, or maybe that their understanding of how their word was the issue. Most times, if you create boundaries around the way you communicate with other people, they'll also do that in return for you. And that's how you get it back and forth, where you can actually have a conversation and you listen to understand each other and try and come to some kind of ground. If we could do that, where you let somebody speak and then after you fully contextualize what they're saying, respond back to what they're saying, it furthers the conversation so much more. And it's kind of hard to argue.
So I'm gonna do my best impression to sound like Marcus. I have nothing to say, but that was very soothing, and I wish I had a voice.
Pause.
All right. Damn. I don't live in Atlanta. I'm not gay. All right. Jasmine, did you have something? Didi, did you want to say
Jasmine,
something?
you ain't got nothing?
Well, you know what's interesting? Didi, you have something?
You know, I always got something.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so predators prey on feminine women. This is not to say that all men are predators. However, I've constantly said that I don't speak in terms of absolutes when I come up here. Many times, a lot of times people are arguing against points that were never made, and the silent part always has to be said out loud with you all, and that can get very irritating and hard to constantly keep engagement when you have someone that is seemingly being intentionally obtuse, or committed to not understanding you. There's always a need to ego stroke you niggas personally before holding another nigga accountable for something. So if I'm talking about the nature of a predator, I don't need you arguing against it. I'm talking about a predator. So why are you arguing against what I'm telling you about how a predator moves if you're not a predator? I shouldn't have to constantly ego stroke you with this whole not all men are predators shit. Why does the silent part have to be said out loud before I can make this point about these are the behaviors of a predator? Shut the fuck up and learn about how a predator moves. Why are you arguing with me about the nuance of not all? That can detract from a point and totally get you off track. And it really makes people angry and just not even want to engage. So I'll land it there.
All right. Let me just say, on this particular topic, I think somebody said seek to understand, listen to understand. And what I'll notice is people will be making like 95% of your diatribe will be to the point. And what tends to happen is I realize that we're not talking to each other most of the time on these panels. We're talking to a bias that we have, an annoyance, and we're talking to somebody that hurt us. Like most of the time I can tell, because right at the point time when we're supposed to finish most points, we throw in a jab and like an insult. And it's almost like you'll say 95% good stuff and be like, that's why you niggas ain't shit. It's like the end of it. The end of it will put people on defense. But I realize that it's not really people talking to us because we don't know each other like that. It's us talking to the person that hurt us. In my particular case, that's why I said I'm done with that gender war shit. It's consumed too much of my time. Like, I'm never talking to any woman personally because I don't have those problems, but I am speaking from a point of bias. I am embarrassed at the behavior of too many members in the community. It's embarrassing to be at work when people are doing the shit that we do here and talking to each other the way we talk to each other here. I'm embarrassed to be fucking black sometimes, right? But I can't let that embarrassment distract me from talking to individuals who might be seeking to make change. So every time I come here, I can't be, throwing little jabs because of that thought about how somebody embarrassed me at work. So I think that has a lot to do with it. Sometimes we need to realize who we are talking to and kind of chill out a little bit, and everybody can benefit from it. Men and women alike. We all do it. And I think if we make the change, we'll be better off in these relations with each other. Anybody else got anything to say on this before we?
Yes, I mean I did, but I've been saying
Andrea.
Go ahead, Ali. You got it. You got it.
Ali did say she wanted to have something to say. Ali did say it.
No, you on solo now. You got to say something. Yeah, we just gonna look at you.
If you all want to hear it, and if you are open,
yes, we want to hear it.
Nobody's gonna bother you. Go ahead. You got it.
Well, I think that, like so many people have pointed out, like Dee Dee has said, when we come to Black men with these issues, we always get discourse and we always get a comparison. Will Black women do this? Or, well, that's not us on this panel. And it's like you're trying to censor Black women and you're taking their voice. It's just like the white man does to you. When you go to him and you say, and you're afraid to tell him that you feel discriminated against, or you feel like your peers, something is wrong, and he fires you from your job, or he says, oh, you playing the race card. We get tired of that. Like, when are you as Black men going to become leaders and delegate some authority here? If we come to you with an issue, we expect you to address the issue, not say, well, it wasn't me. You're a leader. When I have a problem at a store, I don't go to the customer service cashier. I go to the manager. And the manager, I don't expect him to say, well, the cashier messed up your money and it's their fault. I expect the manager to say, well, evaluate the problem, listen to my concerns, and actually provide a resolution. And I feel like on these panels, you all feel so triggered and so attacked because you are attacked by the whole entire world. We're not attacking you. We're not coming on this panel to attack the panel. We're coming on this panel to address some issues and find some resolutions. And it's very disheartening when every time we do that, y'all got a rebuttal and protecting predators. Like right now, I'm speaking and you're unmuted, probably Sweeney, because you want to protect predators. You don't want my voice to be heard. You want to censor.
I'm protecting predators.
Yeah, because
that's what you got from that.
Yes, because you won't.
Put me up there with a trigger.
You won't.
Bro, no.
Put me up there with a trigger.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, Ali. Go ahead. Let us have it. Mr. Lego, let us have this. Mr. Lego, let us have this.
As if I've done something to you.
Go ahead, Trigger.
I've done nothing to you, Sweeney. I'm talking about the predicament in our community and looking for resolutions from Black men who say they've married Black women, who say they are leaders, who say they can make a change, but I haven't heard shit. But all women are kids.
Okay, fair enough. Again, I cannot stress this enough. My problem is not addressing the issue. My problem is when we make sweeping generalizations of people. I've always felt every time I hear people do that. Hold on, wait. But we did. And I just provided an example.
All Black men for you to understand there are predators in our community.
No. Listen.
If you guys can't speak directly to each other, respectfully, we're going to have to put the time clock back up.
Ali, I have no problem with addressing because there's a difference between saying predators prey on weak people. There's a difference between saying predators prey on weak people and men prey on weak people. That's two totally different statements. We can have the conversation, but we cannot be making sweeping generalizations of men. For example, you called You made a statement that said 50% or more of men are predators. That is not. You said that at the beginning of the show.
Abuse
My bad. Abuse women. You right. My bad. You made a sweeping statement. My bad. I just acknowledged that I said my bad. I corrected myself.
He corrected himself. Let him finish.
You made a sweeping generalization saying that more than 50% of men abuse women. That is not true.
That is true.
That is not.
Okay, what if it was true, Sweeney? Then what?
Right,
I'm not going to concede. I'm not going to concede to it being. No. I'm going to tell you this. I'm not going to concede to it being true because it's not. We can talk about the abuse in our community without sweeping generalizations. Just like I would have a problem if we came up here and said all women are hoes or all women are. I have not said that not once, and you can't point to one time where I've actually said that.
Mr. Leggo to say all women are children, and you.
How many times? Hold on, wait, Mr. Leggo. Didn't I say, come on, bro, that's not true? Mr. Leggo here. How many times have I told you that's not true?
Yeah, you say it all the time.
Thank you.
Today you haven't said.
I've said it all the time. I've even said it today.
I want you to think about this.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
If it's my belief that this is what it is, why can't I have my own goddamn belief? You're dismissing my reality now. The fuck is you doing?
And that's her reality. If she says that men hate her femininity, you're like, oh no, we don't.
You say you have a problem when I say women are children, but you're dismissing how I feel and see the world.
And I'm simply saying both of you motherfuckers are wrong.
I never had a problem with it because I know
But you can't call somebody wrong.
All right, one mic.
I'm calling people wrong for their own interpretation of the world.
You gotta let Sweeney finish his point. Sweeney, you finish?
Sweeney done had 2 minutes.
I would say that's the only problem I have. If we want to talk about abuse in the community, we can talk about that. Let's talk about it. But we cannot make sweeping generalizations of men. We cannot do that.
Can I say something, please?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the thing, because I'm getting real sick if you keep saying sweeping generalization. It's like you've been rehearsing this in the mirror and couldn't wait to say that tonight. All I'm saying is this.
Now, what does that have to do with what I said?
Excuse me, 30 more seconds. I get 30 seconds, right? Because you keep on talking to me, right?
You got
30 more seconds.
Go ahead, Andre. I'll just mess with you.
I was saying, I've really been trying to just have this conversation, but it's like you're talking about generalizations, and that's all you've been doing to each one of us individually tonight, because everyone is saying, y'all saying this, y'all saying this, y'all saying this, but nobody's actually taking what we're specifically individually saying. I never said predator at all tonight. Someone else mentioned the fact that they felt like women get preyed on by predators, and that's their own personal experience and their own thought process. But when I was specifically asked a generalized question that was given to me, it's not like I just came out of woodwork and was like, shit, all men, they just. No, somebody asked me a question. The question was, do you feel like men hate women? If you're not ready to receive an answer to that question, maybe you should figure out how you should verbalize the question so that I'm not answering a blanket statement to a blanket question. That's all that I'm saying. So if one person speaks this way and says this is the way she perceives this world, and I say something completely different, don't then just conflate everything and make it seem like all of the women tonight are saying the same thing where we're saying something different. It just so happens that when I said that I feel like men hate our femininity when it comes to certain things, each woman had their individual take on it.
That's your reality.
All right, let me get in there. Let me read the super chat. Drama therapy. This is Nelson. I think he sent this a little while ago, and it sums this up perfectly. Predators don't prey
bullshit.
Hold on. Predators don't prey on feminine women. They prey on specific personality traits and behaviors that indicate vulnerability. Let me say this because I wrote this down a minute ago about what y'all were talking about. So to what Nelson was saying, there is like some truth that feminine women can be soft targets for predators. And I think everybody has laid it out that that's what you were saying. But it's weird though, because look at what it actually does for men that aren't predators. Men seek to protect feminine women and women, but it's not to say that women who get abused for being feminine or feel like they're too soft should turn into abrasive masculine types of women, because those women invite conflict. So it's a trade-off with both. if you want the protection of good men, you should seek to remain feminine, because once you become abrasive and combative, you invite conflict from men too. So that's not safe either. No, everybody here has a general consensus that we don't want to see anything happen to women. I ain't no goddamn predator. I got daughters. Marcus got daughters. Everybody, people got kids, and we don't want to see that happen to women. We're not going to use the generalization statement again, but just let's interpret, like, when we're saying things, I think that we've broken it down the way it needed to be broken down. Predators are terrible. They do prey on women, and if that's what you meant, Andrea, we accept your
Let me
conclusion
say this
on it.
real quick.
Hold on. Ali, you said it already. Bring me in real quick so I can end this.
Wait.
All right, let MLG go.
Hold on.
I'm gonna let y'all close it out, ladies.
Let go. Wait, let me just say
Not
this
what
for
I
10
said,
seconds.
bro. Like,
Hold up.
I didn't go yet.
I was talking. I asked.
I didn't go yet.
And I'm a lady. Ladies should go first. It's 10 seconds. Y'all act like ladies.
But I didn't even go yet.
To talk. I heard ladies were the talkative ones. But listen, if I say that trees are green, common sense would tell you I'm not talking about all trees, because there are brown trees, there are yellow trees, there are blue trees. Common sense, but the majority,
blue trees.
It's silent. It's called silent. So when we're having these adult conversations, it gets so exhausting when we have to say not all men. Because when you say women are children, I didn't say not all women. I didn't give a fuck, because I know it don't pertain to me. So if you all can get that through your head so we can progress in the conversation and actually have a EQ and an IQ, I talk with some sense. Like, I'm tired of these asinine conversations where you're talking about, oh, you said this, and rewinding to go on words instead of finding the resolution to predators in our community who are terrorizing you and us.
All right. So
let me
just say that I was trolling for a second, but I googled blue trees, and there
They
seems to be
exist.
some blue
Bro,
trees.
you talking about some
Let
damn
Trev
blue
get in
trees.
here. Trev didn't get a chance to speak. He hasn't spoken.
I never went.
Hold on. I gotta say this.
Trev, you gonna close it out for us? You got it.
Okay.
Freaking Mike, I never said predator, so I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, I'm not. I wasn't even talking about you specifically.
Andrea,
not you.
You agree.
Calm down. So look, the reason why I acted a fool earlier is due to the fact that feminine women usually get suppressed by people on the panel. Okay, that's one. So the feminine women being looked at as a weaker vessel is a problem. Okay, they get talked over, they get shut down because they have like low, dainty voices, and a loud, boisterous woman would literally, like, she would, just like Jasmine as an example. I keep like, Jasmine, you got something to say? Because Jasmine is the like lower voice of the whole panel, right? So the reason why I acted a fucking fool is mainly because of Jasmine, because Ali said something, she got shut down. Then Andrea said something, she got shut down. And then Jasmine, I was like, Jasmine, you think the same thing too? And she said, yeah. And no. And I was like, whoa, what we doing? Because as a masculine man, just as a protector, period, is not always protecting a burglar from kicking in the door. It's protecting women's voices when they actually feel like they're being shut down and they have a point. Now, they're just babbling about dumb shit. That's one thing, but they had a valid point. And all the women on the panel had the same perspective. And I'm like, yo, let's hear what they have to say, because this is interesting. All three of them think the same way. And y'all niggas like, nah, we don't. I was about to lead the panel, but I had to calm myself down and say, you know what? Let me respect authority, women, respect authority. He's the moderator of the panel. Let me shut the hell up, and I'll revisit this later. Just like y'all get in an argument with your boyfriend, shut the fuck up and revisit it later, like I did with Trigger Mike.
Yeah, I may be the moderator, but I have struggled in my whole professional career to get you to shut the hell up when I'm talking. That was a whole lot. All right. My man Trev, close it out for us, bro.
Gotcha. So first off, I just want everyone to understand that under no circumstances would I ever want women to be taken advantage of in any capacity, right? I have a wife, I have a sister, I have a daughter. I believe in protecting women, right? The issue that I had was just the rhetoric that was displayed towards men, right? I protect men too, right? And some people may think it's weird for me to stand up for men and maybe think that I take it personally. But no, if somebody says something, hold up, dog. You like, I'm trying to.
It's my turn. It is. You told me it was my turn.
Just hold on a second. Let me just get this out real quick. So even if you almost saying you lose my train of thought. So
you said you protect men.
I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear people say things that are bad. Like you talking about men. That's fine. If it's something that's true, that's fine. But we can't give out blanket statements just to say, all right. When you say men, if you just say men, regardless of how you feel about it, guess what? When you get on a hold on. I'm not done. I ain't interrupt anybody. I ain't say a word. So could everybody just calm down for like a second so I could
But you're
get this
arguing
out?
against a point that's not being made.
Hold on, you got to let him finish.
I'm not done. I'm not done.
Y'all gotta let him finish.
Listen, regardless of how I felt, listen, I thought what you said was trash too.
Yo, y'all gotta let him finish, and before y'all get y'all rebuttal.
That's all I'm saying. Like y'all can't even respect what it is that I'm saying.
We didn't say
everything that y'all talk about. Just what you're doing right now is the same thing you complain about. You complain about people trying to shut you down. I don't do that to anybody on this panel, but you can't even give me a minute and a half of respect. That's crazy.
You keep saying I said that Andrea said something. I said.
Who said?
Who said you said anything?
Who said that's it?
Because
you said you're not gonna.
I'm not even talking about you.
We gotta let him finish.
I'm not even talking about you. Stop making this about
finish,
you because I wasn't even addressing you. I wasn't even talking to you.
You addressed my
That's
point.
all I'm saying.
You addressed my point.
I didn't address you. I didn't address your point.
Ladies, y'all will get a chance to rebut after he.
Y'all gotta calm down for a second. Just calm down for a second. Can you like contain yourself for just a moment? That's it. So all I'm saying is that if nobody's I'm trying to finish my point, but you can't put yourself on mute for a second just for me to get it out. That's it. All I'm trying to say is that if I hear something that I think is bogus, I'm going to call it. If we want to talk in front of people, you want to be on a panel and talk about relationships or whatever that is in front of thousands of people that are going to witness it, then there comes responsibility with that. You have to be wary of what it is that you're going to say. So when you're giving out bad information, that's a problem. Regardless of how laborious you might feel it is, you have to be like that when you're on a panel talking in front of thousands of people. You have to be responsible for what it is that comes out of your mouth. So yes, if it means that you have to be specific and say some men sometimes, then yes, I make sure I always make a conscious effort to do it myself. So everybody is responsible for doing that when you're speaking in front of thousands of people. It is what it is. It's not that difficult. You just have to be specific about what you're talking about. And I don't want people to.
You, Trev, and you keep saying blanket statement. We clarify we're not talking about all, and we want you to address the issue. We want to know the resolution, which you could never get to because you are too stuck protecting men. Remember, you said you're protecting these predators that we called predators. We said these men that we're talking about are predators, and you said, well, they're not all. Okay, let's talk about the some then. We're gonna.
No, you said men are. You said men are predators.
Again, bro.
So you keep doing it. You said men are predators. That's what I have a problem with. That's the point that I never had a chance to address.
And yes, and
Ali, you didn't let him finish his statement.
Ali, you didn't let him finish.
I want him to.
Ali, you have to let him finish before you interrupt. You have to let him finish. After he finishes, you can ask your question.
He's done.
After he finishes, you can let him. After he finishes, you can ask your question.
He's done. He's saying the same shit over and over again.
Ali, stop.
He can say it as long as he can until he gets his.
Whatever I wanted to do with my time is what I wanted to do with my time.
So let him finish the statement.
Ali, stop. Stop.
Nigga filibustering. You done said the same shit 3
Hey,
times.
you stop.
And I have a question for
for Trev if whenever
Can y'all
he
stop?
gets
Let the man finish
All
and
right.
ask
You
the
know what?
question.
You know what? Ali, go ahead and ask.
Stick a
Go
fork
ahead
in
and
him.
ask your
Done.
question. But I want to be able to answer it without interruption. Go ahead and ask your question up.
Thank you. That's all I wanted. I want to
Go ahead,
ask
Ali.
you a question. The question is, so since we gave our experiences and we might not have said most men, and you all want to spend an hour going on how we should have said most, let us go ahead. And I don't want to hear you all say it again. We're changing it to most or some. So you guys can get off that. And we're asking you for resolutions to the sum of the men that are predators and terrorizing Black women and Black men. We want resolutions. You all like to stick on semantics instead of giving resolutions. So I changed it to some, Your Highness. Your Highness, some men, not all. Let's say 15%. I'm going to take it down 33% from 50 to 15. So let's go ahead. The 15% of these men are terrorizing us. What's the resolution? Since you all like to talk so much, give me the resolution.
Not 15% of men.
So look,
no.
So what you have to do is control what you can control, right? So do you want to hear about women or men first? I'll start with the men.
What?
Any man that I ever see on some nonsense, I stop it. I encourage men how to treat women better, how to appreciate women, how to love women. That's what I do in my spare time. I do that. Women, what you can do because it behooves you to is protect yourself. You have to be careful about what type of men you give your energy to, right? If this has happened to you before, then you have to develop some type of discernment just for your own sake. When you see that men are not treating you properly, you have to dead it right away. You have to pay attention to the signs. You have to pay attention to the red flags and avoid those men at
I really
all
want
costs.
to know what you all as men are going to do.
How you going to interrupt this man mid-sentence? He's just asked you.
That's what
Can
she
you
do.
give him the space to answer the question?
I'm elaborating, Sweeney. This between me and him. I want to know, you giving us the
Mute y'all so he can finish getting
we
his
know
statement
what
off.
we should be doing. We want to know what you are going to do about it.
That
and
was
also,
actually the question.
What are you going to do to protect us?
He was literally answering the question.
He wasn't. He was talking about how they
literally-
could protect themselves.
He couldn't finish his statement to even get done.
I'm not saying that he didn't answer the question. This is not a debate or an argument. I'm asking him a follow-up question, which people do.
You gotta let him finish a question, answer the question before you ask a follow-up. He wasn't even done before you jumped in.
You're raising your voice and you sounded like Mariah Carey.
Okay, that's fair, but you gotta
and
let people finish.
You sound like
Jesus
Mariah
Christ.
Carey,
Let the man
singing,
finish.
Merry Little
You
Christmas.
asked for a solution, you don't even want to let him finish. Let
He
the
was
nigga
finished
finish.
making his point about what he do for me, and he started making the point about what his
So
advice
y'all
is.
go-
He started with the
He
Captain
wanted to
Saber
elaborate
Man.
He
on
started,
the
he
men
started,
The
he
first
never
thing I
finished.
started
He
with the
started
men.
with the
There's
Captain
only but
Saber
so
Man
much.
shit. He's Captain
Yeah,
Saber
like what?
Man, remember?
That was the first thing that I said. Any man that I see, I will stop it in any way that I can. There's not very much
How?
that we can do to identify the predators.
So what does that look like?
If we don't know who it is, what do you mean? What's that look like? You
Bro,
talk to
you don't know
people,
what it
like I
looks
said
like?
in the beginning.
You don't know what it looks like?
Well, what did you
Are you
do?
listening?
Get
Are
your
you listening
get
to what
your
I'm saying?
complete thought out. I'm trying to create a environment
So
for you to
listen
say your
to
complete
listen
thought.
listen
I'm
listen
trying
to
to mute
listen
and
to what I'm
get
saying.
it all done.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
If I see it, I call it out. I stop it. I encourage men to love women better. I am teaching my children, my peers, anybody that I encounter how to treat women better, how to love women, how to respect women, how to get married instead of just abusing women, right? That's what I do. But as far as you meeting the men, it behooves you to take on that responsibility as well, because you're the one that has to be protected. The women that are in my immediate life, I can protect. I can't protect the world. I'm not Batman or Superman. But anybody who I see that's on some nonsense, I'm going to stop it in its tracks. I won't allow it. I believe in protecting women, but women are going to be the ones who are encountering these men. You're going to see these men like I'll never see these men. So, of course, the responsibility is more on women to avoid these men, because there's only but so much we can do if I'm not in your immediate space.
I appreciate that. Can I say something real quick? And then I'm just going to
Go ahead.
I just wanted to point out, I don't know if y'all can hear me or not. So when I just want y'all to recognize that I tend to use I statements, meaning what I think, what I hear, what I feel, what I perceive, and what my answer is. I'm not really asking, me personally, what I wanted to achieve was to just express how I felt about the question. Because the question was, do I feel like men hate women? I gave an answer based on what my perception is because I was asked a specific personal question. So I feel like a lot of people like are complaining about generalizations, and it's like I feel like that's what we're all doing. So for future reference going forward, please be mindful of what I am specifically saying, what I am specifically asking for or looking for, because I'm not asking for a solution. I'm asking to just be heard in the retrospect that I feel like there are some men who do have some type of a bitterness towards femininity. Whether you prescribe that as DV, whether you prescribe it as predatorial, or whether you describe it as somebody who's just cheating or committing infidelity or not being honest with their partner about their sex lives and having other partners, whatever it is. Specifically for me, I'm just saying that I feel like there are things that men don't like about women's femininity that creates a bitterness towards it. So please understand, I'm speaking specific for myself and no one else. So when y'all start to generalize our answers, be specific, please, about who you're referring to. That's all that I'm saying.
And she has the right to her own life experiences, whether she makes a blanket statement or fucking not. She has a right to say whatever the fuck she wants to say. So if she says all men are this, that's her goddamn thought process, and you leave her the fuck alone and don't start. Well, you can't make a blanket. She can do the fuck she wants to.
Mr. Lego, you can't say that and
that's
then tell
her
everybody else to
reality.
shut the fuck up. We also have a right to challenge it.
get-
If somebody,
well,
not
you
to
can't
Andrea's
challenge
actual,
somebody's reality.
yes, you can. Yes,
No,
you
you
can.
can't.
Absolutely can.
No,
That
you
is
can't,
a
sir.
dumbass
No, you
statement.
can't.
Yes, you can.
No,
That
you
is a
can't.
dumbass
Why are
statement.
you
Hold on, wait.
challenging?
Wait.
Hold on, wait. And I'm not even speaking specifically to Andrea. I'm not even speaking specifically to Andrea. When you said somebody could say all people or something, and we just got to sit there and take it. No, we don't. That is the whole point. Because that's the whole point why we have dialogue. You get to challenge people on their thought processes. We get to challenge people on their thought processes. When you get out here and say all women are children,
process, that's a reality. It's different.
That's not a reality to say that all people are something.
Reality.
That's how she was raised in her environment. You can't get angry at that.
And that still doesn't make what she says.
You can enlighten her to a different environment, but
Mr. Lego, and that's your problem. That's your problem. You don't know how to concede to truth.
Your
that's
problem
why,
is
that's
you
why,
want
that's
to
why
be
nobody
right
likes to listen to
instead
you.
of allowing
That's why
somebody
nobody
to
likes
talk
to
about
listen to
whatever
you. Because you don't know how to have a
wanna be
conversation.
right so fucking badly, bro.
I don't like we can't have it. We can sit over here and
Y'all.
have a conversation.
I'm gonna read the super chat, then we're gonna be out. My man Big Ant with $10 says, Ali, have you ever thought that by the way you approach me, that when I see you, that I don't see anything that is worth me protecting? Garbage thinks I don't care if it's male or female.
I don't want you, Big Gun. You're ugly and fat.
Damn, how you know? You know him in real life?
I checked him out.
Oh, y'all just shit. Y'all got shit going on. I don't think I do. Ikene, my man, how are you doing, my brother? $2. Ali is generally manipulative. God, y'all on her head tonight. Big Ant, $10. Let go. You had to calm yourself down. Okay, you go, girl.
I didn't say calm myself down. I calmed down.
Yes, you did. You literally said that.
These women are damn manipulative. All right, man. I want to thank everybody on the panel, man, for coming through. This was a hot one tonight. God damn, this is gonna get viewed like a motherfucker. Y'all was, you know what? This is a great challenge. That's what I'll say. A lot of opinionated people, but I'll do this again with y'all, man. I am dedicated to work shit out with my fellow brethren, no matter how toxic I may think some opinions are. I'm always willing to have the dialogue, and I know y'all are too. That's why y'all keep showing up. So that's how we do it here, man. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Jasmine, Trev, Ali, Sweeney, my man Marcus with the great ideas, holding it down. MLG, Didi, thank you for coming through in the clutch. And Andrea, thank you so much. And this is Lapeef Let's Talk. Thank you to everybody in the chat Thank you for supporting and your great super chats. As always, this is a great show. Please make sure y'all tune in on the replay, get in the comments, forward this to your homies. And yeah, we're gonna rock out like that. Y'all stay in the back chat and be toxic, but my black ass going to bed, man.
So I eat ass, buy tires, and
Oh
protect
God,
women.
I didn't want to end on that.
Like all you men should be doing.
I like that.
Oh no, I'm in this show.
Dumb ass down. Shit,
And
eating
you're
ass
not,
and
you're not a
buying
man.
tires and shit.
You're not a man if you ain't ass. Period.